Hello. Let me make sure everyone can be heard. Hello, hello.
Am I heard? Am I alive?
You should be, but your PNG's not jumping.
Hello, hello.
Oh no. Why is my PNG not jumping? I need to fix that.
It's like your PNG's animated, but it's not jumping. I broke everything. Hello.
I usually break something.
It always starts like that. I was expecting Aiden to be the one to break.
I mean, I break a lot of video games that we play, so I was expecting that too, kinda.
Oh, whoops! I forgot to update. Whoops, that's my bad. Today is not a Dark Urge gameplay. Hey, Lionfire, how's it going?
Yeah, the stream title.
Whoops. Dnd Chat with Aiden and Zan. This is supposed to be a just chatting stream. I knew I forgot something. There we go. There we go. Oh, ad break in progress. What? All right, Zan, talk.
Did it fix it? Have I fixed it?
No, it's still not jumping. Here, I will.
Ah.
I'll share my screen so you can see.
It's okay, everyone. First time technical difficulties. Getting it out of the way.
Oh.
There we go. All right, it's working now.
Okay, it's working now. Hooray!
Yay! All right, okay. Can everybody hear all of us? Yay! All right, cool. All right.
Run.
Madness coming soon. Emphasis on madness.
Oh, yes. All right. So first off, Yotenart, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Horde. I hope you enjoy your stay. And Kekia, Saru, King, hello, Rupa, D&D Tuck, Dungeons and Talking, the pacifist D&D. Hello, Zan, hello, Saru from Veratai. Well, I'm just gonna stand here in the corner. It's like,
No, come back.
no, it's like this is dance chat now. I'm joking, of course. Hey, Lionfire, how's it going? Why is the urge dark? Why would the urge be white or light?
Good question.
Yeah. It's like nobody wants a light urge. It's not fun.
Well, you know what? You're kind of right.
Yeah. Red is also on Twitch. I'm here to absorb all the DM secrets. Well, congratulations. We have the main secret is we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah,
That is the main secret to being a dungeon master.
That's my secret.
Don't
DM.
plan.
That's my secret, DM. I know nothing.
Yep.
Everybody wants their own superpowered evil side trope. Yes, absolutely. It's like, look at any anime or any popular anime. Is like Naruto has the nine-tailed fox that will like break out, or Bleach is like with the hollows. It's like they always have like a demon that comes out when they're about to lose.
As you do, I guess.
Hey, demons and devils are a pretty good trope to use in D&D. For bad guys specifically.
Well, now I'm gonna make a demon and devil be a good guy. Hey, Kekia! Thank you, Kekia Valon. Thank you so much for the
Nice.
sub. That got us to the sub goal of 20. Hell yeah!
Very cool.
I just gifted the sub to Saru.
Why not demons for heroes? Is it because the Bible says no? No idea. D&D doesn't really follow that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain the difference between demons and devils to someone who only knows it through the Bible.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, so I don't get it either.
I think Red, who's in chat, explained it to me once. It's, is it demons are straightforward and killy, and devils are the ones that like making deals and schemes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
It's like devils and demons in D&D are always at war. It's like demons live in the abyss, devils live in the hells. Demons are more the chaotic evil, and devils are the lawful evil, as they're the ones that they have contracts and they have to follow rules. Or demons are more just murder and killing for the sake of it.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on who you ask, that actually kind of sounds not too off from the kind of demons and devil you find in the Bible. But that's just here. I'm no expert on the matter, so I don't pretend to be. So,
just generally, demons and devils in like the Bible and whatnot, it's kind of just interchangeable.
I guess
That's how I was always. It's like that's how at least I was brought up. But I was non-denominational, and I didn't actually really read.
Yeah. Either way, so that's that, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just throw this out here as well. If anybody in chat has DM related questions, you can ask us as well. Just chuck them in chat and we'll try and go through them all. And yeah, we're just here to talk about GMing and shooting the proverbial tree of shit.
By the way, hello. I'm Aiden York.
And I'm Zan, but I think everyone here knows that. And if you don't, then hi, I'm Zan.
And hi, I'm Imrus. If you didn't already know that, I am the half dragon. I'm the half dragon VTuber. This is my channel. Then these are my friends.
Hi.
Yo.
Yo, and same. I read Yugoth as Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know what? You're not alone. I read that as Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I just didn't say anything because I didn't want anyone to laugh.
Oh no, this Yu-Gi-Oh players coming after us.
Hey, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
So am I.
Yeah, Lion
least
Fire,
they
it's
used to
been a
be.
while. I'm glad to see you again.
Can you imagine it though? It's like an Invention party's camping and then like just jumping out of a tree. It's time to duel, and they pull out this duel deck that like extends from their army. Like, oh my god!
Dude, I would love that. Honestly, I was talking with my other GM because we're working on a One Piece D&D campaign on like how would we do a Yu-Gi-Oh D&D style campaign.
Well, here, one of the people here in the chat ran a Gundam style D&D campaign that only lasted a couple of sessions, but it was still really cool.
Hey, who, when, where, why? Invite me next time. Fucking love Gundams. That's like literally like we're doing that Marauders thing, and my first thought is I want to pilot a Gundam. If there is no Gundam, I want a spacesuit.
Yeah, you get the Rust bucket.
As a brand new GM, how long does it take to learn a new system? Honestly, that's dependent on person to person. It could take you 5 minutes. It could take you 5 years.
I have still not learned a new system.
Yeah, here it's me. Speaking from experience on my thing, I learn better by experience. Like you could sit and explain it to me for hours, but then when I actually get down and get into the nitty-gritty of it, be it playing or GMing, that's when I start to really absorb it.
Same.
Yeah, I learn by doing.
Same. Though I tried playing Pathfinder for the first time a while back as a player, not as a GM. No way am I trying that as a GM until I learn it as a player. And it's like honestly, it was a lot of fun, but so complicated in comparison.
Yeah, here, Pathfinder, trying to read it makes my head hurt, but I'm sure that if I actually got in and tried it, shut up, Zan, but if I actually got in and tried it, it would actually, I'm sure it would actually absorb it a little bit better.
Yeah, like I've been playing Pathfinder for a little over a year now in a campaign, and I'm only just now starting to get to grips with how it works and the ins and outs, but there's still so much that I don't know. But it is a really fun thing to do once you get the hang of it and you know where to put what when you level up and things like that.
Okay, I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of learning new systems, when was it that you started playing D&D, and how did you end up learning it?
I started playing D&D March 2014. So right as 5th edition came out, I'd always seen D&D, but I'd never touched it, never played it, didn't know anything about it. It was just, oh, it's that fantasy roleplay everybody likes. And I got invited to a D&D campaign, and the rest is history. So I've been playing since 2014.
I had a. I'll let.
Sorry, you
no, I'll let Aiden say. I go first because I asked a question.
As for me, technically, I guess I started in 2014 as well, with a really cheesy but really fun kind of mashup game called Dungeons the Dragoning, which was a mashup of a bunch of different systems. It took some 40k RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, and a little bit of other stuff, and mashed them together.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it was actually kind of fun, but that got me wanting more. But I took a break from that because this was back in university, so I had to focus more on that. But by the time I was finishing up, I guess it was either 2017 or 2018. That's when I got really into it. So just over about 5 or so years.
Okay, so my experience is kind of like a mix of both of y'all's. I started in 2014. Was my first game. I want to say around March because it was in my my video game design class. One of my friends was like, "Hey, y'all want to play D&D?" And I was like, "Sure." He was the only one with a book. I had we didn't even print off character sheets. And I literally just had on my notes app on my iPod or on my iPhone was like the important details on my character. I was playing some ranger. I don't even remember his name. And I had no idea what I was doing. And there was like 15 of us, and it was chaos because some people those who played D&D prior brought their existing characters in. So I think they brought like 3rd edition characters in, and I was pretty sure we were playing 5th edition.
That sounds utter chaos.
Oh, it was so much.
There was 15 of you?
Yeah, there was like 15 of us. We were just sitting in a big circle in the hallway. I remember my ROTC instructor like passed by, like looked at us, like it was like, "What are y'all doing?" Like looked at me, being the one ROTC member in the group, and we were like, "We're playing Dungeons and Dragons," and just like the look of disappointment on his face. But it's like that game was so chaotic. I have no idea what was even supposed to happen because pretty shortly after we had started, one of the players who had brought one of his existing characters, and since he brought his existing character, he kept all of his levels and items and shit. So he was over leveled compared to all of us new players who were just level 1. And he decided, "I'm gonna be the bad guy," and just started attacking the town with a dragon. Apparently he had a pet dragon.
As you do.
Yeah, and I just remember at one point I was sitting right next to the DM, and I just leaned over to him and was like, "Hey, can I just like sneak up and kill him?" And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead and like just roll to attack." I rolled like a 19, and he goes, "Yeah, okay." You just walk up behind him and you stab him in the neck, and he dies. And because the GM was just so done at that point because nothing was happening. There's too many people, obviously. I know that now.
I mean, 15 people. I struggled to deal with 6 of you guys.
Oh yeah, I know. No, it's like it should not have been that many people. Obviously, the DM, who was a good friend of mine, it's like didn't really know how to say no, so it just became this giant group. When in actuality, we should at least split into 2 or 3 groups. After that, I didn't play until that GM invited me to hang out with him. So we had a 3-player campaign. Like a couple months later, where it's like we stayed over at his house, spent the night, and we played D&D for like 2 days, or like an entire weekend. It was a lot of fun. I still didn't really know what I was doing. No character sheet, not really explaining the rules. So I would just like things would be happening, and he had a DM PC that was kind of the main character, and things would be happening, and I'd just be like, "Oh, my character's over here having sex with this person he found," and it's like no rolls, no role playing. I had no idea what to do. All I knew about D&D was the memes of like, just I say this and this happens, and I was like, okay. So it's like I just kind of played it as a bit of a joke. And then after that, we all had fun, and it was fun. But it's like in my defense, the very final battle with the BBEG was a 1-on-1 match between his DMPC and the BBEG in a Coliseum.
Well,
so we just had to
Well, okay,
we
then.
had to like sit back and watch. We still had fun. That's what matters.
Yeah, as long as you enjoyed at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I didn't play D&D for years after that, as I had moved to California shortly after that. And I want to say it was around 2018 when my little brother was like, "Hey, I want to try playing D&D," and I was like, "Okay, I've done that before. Let me figure out how to do this." And I found a comic book store that did D&D nights every Thursday. We went, and I actually learned how to play, which was and after a bit, like they all kind of had their groups already, but then like there was like a bunch of us new players who just got together and started playing Lost Mines of Fendover, which I somehow got tricked into DMing, because we agreed when we started that we were all going to like take turns DMing to see who liked DMing. And it's like I was like the second or third person to DM, and after my turn I went to hand the DM stuff to the next person. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to DM," and everyone else was like, "Oh no, I don't want to DM." So I got stuck as DM for the rest of the campaign.
That was kind of a dick move.
It was a dick move, but I actually learned I enjoyed DMing.
It's probably one of the best 5th edition adventures to actually get into DMing. So
Oh, absolutely!
Fendover.
It's like, it explains
Yeah.
DMing so well just in the book, and it like spoon feeds you the DM rules.
Yeah,
It's like-
you first.
I was going to say, Lost Mines of Fandelver itself, it's level 1 to 5. You can push it to about 6, maybe. But it holds your hand going through each step of this is how to do this is how to do that. You can ask players this and that. And there's not that many maps, but where there is maps, they're all done for you. So it's just fantastic.
It is honestly a lot of fun. I actually became kind of the go-to DM for a while, until my group eventually dissolved, and I ended up as a player for several years. But that's my origin story. But yeah, it's like if I could recreate my old character, I would, just to give him like some new life. But I honestly can't remember what the hell I did with him. I just remember he was a ranger. I don't remember his name, race, or anything. I remember his backstory, because there was no backstory, because I couldn't think of anything. So I was just like, he has amnesia. He just woke up in the woods one day and he's a drunk because he's trying to drink to remember, type of thing. That was it. That was the extent of his character.
What's wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong with that if you actually had plans beyond that.
Yeah, my GM origin story actually is not rooted in D&D, funnily enough.
No,
Where does it come from?
yeah, you
Well,
can't
here.
just like sprinkle that in without like elaborating. Come on.
Well, I was going to elaborate, but I was waiting for you guys to ask, because I don't know. Either way,
Sorry. What is your GM origin story, Aiden?
if only I could flip you off. Anyway, so funnily enough, I didn't start GMing D&D until about 3 years ago. My RPG GMing origins actually began in Shadowrun.
I've heard y'all talk about Shadowrun, but I've never played it. I know nothing about it.
It's insane.
It is insane, but it's also really cool. We had our own little setting that took inspiration from Shadowrun, but we used the Shadowrun system, and it was still Shadowrun, and just with changes to the lore. But either way, in fact, one of the players is actually in chat right now. That was the first time I ever GM'd, and then after that, my second GMing experience was with Deathwatch, which I know Zan here has played.
Yes.
And then after that, that game got very close to completion, but then it just kind of fell apart due to some inner turmoil with some of the players.
Was that the
And-
same group that originally wasn't a part of Sylveon?
Correct. And then finally did GMing for Sylveon for D&D. Sorry, I said Sylveon by accident. With that same group as a replacement, but then after that is when we created the new group that we have now that includes you both.
I'm in a D&D group, really?
Hey, what?
What am I gonna do with you both?
I don't know.
Nothing. You can't contain us.
I don't know what you expected when you came on, man.
Well, one of you is my boss, so I can't do anything.
Should I tell my origin story of dungeon mastering or GMing?
I mean, do we have time?
Probably not.
Yeah. So all right. So on to the next topic. Yeah.
I started all the way back in 2012, I want to say, and I came across a group of people on Twitch, funnily enough, playing Dark Heresy First Edition, which is Warhammer 40,000, and it was called Real Roleplay, and it had people like Total Biscuit, Jeff in Ignition Control, I think he was called.
Dark Heresy.
Somebody who actually worked at Twitch at the time, I don't know if they still do, was in this roleplay as well. So it's like, ooh, cool.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's some big names. Dark Heresy
Yeah.
is the thing we're doing for Marauders, right?
It is indeed.
Okay.
That's the system. That's the system. Just with a few things, we're kind of building it from scratch, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
So I started watching that, and this was the time when I'd just become friends with Saru, and I'm like, oh, hey, I have the book for this. It's really cool. And then we ended up playing that, and then it just went nuts from there. And then I met another bunch of people, which is how I met my first group, and it just exploded. We went nuts. So I started off with Dark Heresy, then did Dark Heresy 2nd Edition, Death Watch, Rogue Trader. These are all 40k games, by the way.
Okay, imagine How I Met Your Mother spinoff, but it's How I Met My Party.
Yeah, How I Met My Party.
That is a great idea for a web show.
It is.
It is, or it's like a web show or a comic. Somebody write that down.
So I played
Copywriting it.
that for many years. Many years. It's weird saying that, actually. Then I played Shadowrun 5th Edition. Then I went on to GM Star Wars, the Fantasy Flight Games version, because I love that Genesis system that they made up. It's so good.
Is that the newer one, or is that the one I have? No, I have the.
That's the newer one. You've got
Okay.
the D20 one,
Yeah,
I think.
I got the middle child.
Yeah, you got the middle
The-
child.
The one that's more or less Knights of the Old Republic video game, only tabletop.
Yeah. Made by Wizards, so it makes sense.
And then got into D&D as a player first, eventually GM'd, and at the minute I'm just playing, but I am going to be GMing soon. So yeah, that's my origin story.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, right now I'm just playing, but I have a Tyranny of Dragons campaign that's on pause right now that I need to start again. But it's like, I know it's like speaking, it's like how we all kind of agree that Fandelver was was like a really good campaign, especially for beginners. Are y'all excited for the new Fandelver that's coming out? I was like, it's the first time I've been excited for any like canon D&D stuff, if I'm completely honest, since like all the debacles.
Oh, I love that.
How I Met My Dungeon Master is a bit of a sus title.
I'm with Kay. How is that sus?
Look, Dungeon Master.
Because what else is a dungeon master?
Not in a TTRPG setting.
Okay, I get it now.
Look, there's it's like Dungeon Master is only like non-sexual in the connotation of a small subset of society. The rest of society sees that as another thing.
Do you know the best dungeon master picture I've ever seen, and this is D&D just for context, was it was a group of players around the table, and the DM was sat in a green painted cardboard box with just a slit so he could see the players, because you're not supposed to see the DM, and I just have that ingrained in my mind. It's funny.
So he's like
Johnny,
Yako
don't worry
Toro.
about it. No, like it's like that was like something that it's like they they originally did, because like it was supposed to like keep the immersion. So it's like, where you straight up can't see the dungeon master. All you guys a disembodied voice. I think that's interesting,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't really want to do it. It feels lonely.
Kind of is. You're segregating yourself.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where the whole idea of a DM screen comes from as well. Just so you can have a veil or a curtain, as it were.
Well, yeah, I love DM screens. I bought so many different ones for the different campaigns. It's like, but it's like, I love. It's like it does have that bit of segregation. To be like, you don't go behind this line, and it's just generally known that behind that line is all of the notes, dice that you're not supposed to see, and whatnot. But you still are able to see and interact with your friends that you're playing with it.
Yes.
What do y'all think about paid RPG games, like paying a DM to run a campaign?
Pay to play games.
Yeah, that's the word, pay to play.
I mean, I'm not really sure.
I'm fine with them because I understand why some people will want a pay to play game over a free to play game, because when you think of you're looking for an RPG group, you're probably going to be looking either on, say, the Roll20 forums, or you're going to be looking on, what's it called, Fantasy Flight Games forums, because they're two of the big systems. I think there's like Foundry and a couple of others that I'm probably forgetting. You'll look on their forums for groups, and typically you'll find a group, but it might be people of vastly different ages or temperaments and play styles and things like that. And more often than not, you might leave that group, or there might be a disruptive player and the GM might not want to do anything about it. Whereas with a pay-to-play group, it's you as a player have decided, I'm going to pay to play in your campaign, so I'm both monetarily invested, but I'm now invested in the story. So obviously the DM has to deliver, and be good, which I think most pay-to-play DMs are. But you'll get the people that are serious about playing.
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, I guess one other way to look at it is the GM or DM, however you want to say it, is taking time out of their life to prepare a game for you. So I guess it makes sense a little bit that they would probably get some compensation out of it. But
yeah, no,
So,
it's like
I'm
like
okay
paying
with
for a premium. I have nothing against it. I personally just wouldn't really pay to play, because like for me, it's like Dungeons and Dragons is something I do with my friends.
yeah, same here.
yeah.
Personally.
It's like I'm happy to like buy snacks or buy gifts for my DM or my or the other party members, because I like to do that for my friends. Which like my love language is gift giving, so it's like I literally just give gifts randomly throughout the year. I don't wait for a birthday or Christmas or whatever.
That's kind of semi my love language as well. So I get that.
That would be amazing. Just people coming to a session with like pizza and snacks and stuff.
Yeah, it's like that's when I DM'd my first home game. Like it's like it's a small group that came from that comic book shop I told before. I was running Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and we decided to go run at my house because the comic book store was getting too loud. It was getting too many people, so it was so loud we couldn't even hear each other. And it's like, since I was running it, I had bought like beer, because I used to go to like really nice craft breweries out in LA. And so I got like several things of beer. It's like, and I worked for a catering company, and as y'all know, I used to work as a professional chef, so I cooked food. I made like a bunch of like good food, and so I made almost a party of it. And it's like, so it's like, that's what I do. It's like, if I ever went to someone's house, I would bring like snacks or drinks or something with me. So like it's because it just becomes a thing where it's like, because whenever people don't, it's like there would always be like a pause in the middle of the game where everybody would scatter to go get food and come back.
It does sound like a really nice way of doing it. It's like it's a social gathering as much as it is you're there to play a game.
Exactly, yeah. It's like you're there to have fun, but at the same time you're hanging out with friends. That's how I've always seen it.
Yeah, here for our Sylveon group, I love playing with you guys, and I enjoy doing it online. But I would also love for the for the opportunity for us to all gather together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we tend to arrive when we're summoned and disappear shortly afterwards. We never hang out too much beyond that.
And I'd like for us to, but I understand people have things they need to get done, and it's late for the people across the pond and all that stuff.
Yeah. We just gotta get either. I think there's what half of us are in across the pond and half of us are here in America, right?
Yes.
So it's like we just gotta get like half of us to the other continent.
So you guys being the minority need to go to Europe.
Minority.
I mean, I'd love to visit the UK again, so I'd be for it.
I would honestly love to go visit UK. I've been over in Japan. I've never gone across the pond the other way. Also, 10 seconds then we got an ad break.
Of course we do.
Yep.
Well, we'll pause the conversation while the ad break happens.
Ad break is going.
Right. I'm gonna quickly run to the bathroom.
Unless that was saying that was the end of the ad break. I don't know how these work. No ad breaks for subscribers. That's right. Well, that's just tasks right now. Tasks kick in. Sorry, I think. All right, I do need to refill my drink, so I'll be right back.
So I'm the only
Aiden,
one
be
here
entertaining.
now. So, hi everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope you all are enjoying so far. Who's Dr. Nick? Who's Dr. Nick?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What's happening?
Saru said hi, Dr. Nick. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's from The Simpsons because he'd go, "Hi everybody," and then like an audience would go, "Hi, Dr. Nick."
Okay. I do watch it, but not very often.
I'm back.
Welcome
Hello.
back. Don't you two ever do that to me again.
Hey,
There you go.
Zan, thank you so much. 5 gifted subs, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's September.
Thanks. Oh shit, thanks. It's like as of like since I restarted stream, all revenue that I'm getting from stream is going to be going towards my 3.0 model.
Ooh.
I've got the design for it ready. I just gotta get the funds to get the art and then the funds to get the rig.
Is this 3.0 still like this, or is it your other one?
It is the Evil Empress, yes.
So this main Empress is not going to be retired. It's just going to be sometimes the other one's going to be appeared.
Yeah, it'll be kind of switching back and forth. Hello, welcome back. The ad break's over, so everyone who's not a sub, welcome back. Yes, it is September. If you don't know what September is, that means all subs are half off right now, which means that any of your favorite streamers, if you sub to them, get 100% of that revenue.
Yeah, it's actually really nice of Twitch to do.
It's something they should do a little more often, but I mean, it is nice.
Yes.
It's like, yes, they do this instead of giving us 70-30. Oh shit, I'm getting banned. Oh no!
Yeah, who, what, where?
I didn't hear anything.
He's gone. He's dead.
Oh shit! Did he? Oh, no, wait,
No. I was making a joke. All right, where were we in our conversation?
We were still chatting about crap. I actually don't know.
Oh yeah, Evil Empress. And then we were talking about. I think we were kind of at the end of the conversation. Right?
Yeah, we
talked about like origins and
Yeah,
DMing and snacks and things.
Oh yeah, we were talking about how it would be awesome if our Sylveon group got together, but
Right, yeah.
But
Honestly,
we would have to cross the pond.
it's like I'm trying to do the same thing with my other group, my Saturday group, because like everyone there is in America for the most part. There's one person in Canada. We used to have 2 players that were in England and 1 player that was in the Philippines, but it became very hard to have all 3 time zones or all 3 continents. Yeah, and Twitch does need better at Sayuri. So now it's like we have just like one person in Canada, and then the rest of us are here in America. So we're all talking. I actually have a ranch house that has a ton of beds and it's perfect for group gatherings. And it is very on theme, on brand for D&D nights.
So what you're saying is there's going to be an Emrys with a farmer hat and farmer outfit at some point.
Oh, there's already been a little bit of like what a friend of mine like a year or so ago made a little bit of fan art for it. Sometimes now I wish I had actually made a bit more of a cowboy-like character so I could lean into my Western accent a bit.
See, I like that one better than the other one, and don't you dare do it.
But which one are you talking about?
God damn it.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. My voice is beautiful all the time. It's like I just go
Boss,
I just go out there and look for the thing. Go.
No,
Boss,
leave him alone. He's a happy dragon.
I'm not even drunk, man. I'm not even touching alcohol today.
No, I'm not.
I'm probably gonna have a little bit because it's Labor Day, but I'm not gonna go crazy.
Frost said I heard Frost. I don't know where you heard Frost. I said gold.
Yeah, I don't think anyone said Frost.
Nobody mentioned you, Frost.
Oh, when we blame people, it's a running joke that we blame Frost.
Oh, okay.
In one of our groups, because 9 times out of 10, when something wrong happens in D&D, it's Frost.
Oh, that's what you're mentioning in the Avernus thing. Okay.
Yes.
Jotun has down again. Welcome back, Jotun.
Well, here.
Hello.
I kind of experienced that already, kind of in Sylveon, because I witnessed his guest character, and it fell into all the tropes that you warned me about.
You know?
And I'm not making fun of you, Frost. I'm just saying that I've noticed the pattern.
Hey, man, know what you like and keep at it.
Yes.
Like
which is what he does.
I try to do something different with every character. I try not to like have like a theme for all of my characters. Like some people I know. Crow. All of Greta's characters, I make fun of them all the time. Because like they all are either tieflings, black and white, or paladins.
Yeah, for me, for characters, I try and make each character unique. Currently one of my main goals, at least as a player, is to go through every single class of character, and then just pick whatever I want at that point.
Yeah. Tess,
I tried
Crow has an aesthetic, and it's a good aesthetic. Sorry, Aiden.
I don't really think I have an aesthetic.
Don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah.
But I have some aesthetics, but I tend to try to be to juggle things around. But either way, I tried Rogue once, and I'm never gonna do it ever again.
Why?
I didn't really enjoy it.
It's like which subclass were you?
Arcane Trickster.
Oh, okay.
That's like one of the better ones.
Yeah, but I can imagine that if you're not a big on spellcasting, Arcane Trickster could be like not as much fun compared to the bigger damages that like Assassin and Thief can do.
Oh,
well, no,
Thief gets a second bonus action.
I'm okay with spellcasting. It's just my first character I ever played in D&D was a paladin, and I just enjoy the kind of big heavy hitters as opposed to in tabletop RPGs, as opposed to the small hit and run kind of guys, I guess.
Yeah,
I can understand. I really enjoyed doing that with Yuki, so I can understand that.
That, and I'll also be honest that campaign just also, it was an okay campaign, but the other players just made it hard to have fun.
I've been in quite a few of those games. I think my first character that actually, when I started playing again at the comic book store, first character I made was a rogue. Theron, he was a half-elf rogue that eventually I just remade into a druid when I was for a one-shot when I was still learning how to play. But I really enjoyed rogues. I actually got to play him again in a level 8 one-shot. That was so much fun. It was I can go into a whole tangent on that one shot if y'all don't stop me. But it was a lot of fun, and I love how it was ran. It was the closest I've ever gotten to a pay to play, but it was definitely like a more professional setting for a game. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's like you had to sign up for it ahead of time. There were multiple groups, and it was all interconnected.
Oh, it's one of those kind of things. I love stuff like that.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna hop on this tangent and give me. So
I'm hoping to do something like that. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, you go ahead and I can start, because once I start, I don't stop.
I was gonna say I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, you go.
Sorry.
No, you go.
I was gonna say I'm hoping to do something like that with our current group, but I've got to figure out a good time to do it.
All I was gonna say is that reminds me of something that's been an idea for years now that we've been tossing around in one of my other groups. Is there was a game type called West Marchers.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Essentially there's one central location, but you have a pool of players, so there could be 20, 30 players, and there's maybe one DM or a couple of DMs, and all the players do is they talk amongst each other, go, right, us four want to go get together as a group, we're going to go to the DM and say, hey, we want to go explore this area. We're available on this days at these times, and the DM can go, yep, that sounds good, I can do it at like that day at that time. And the DM goes away for a week, designs that session, and then runs it for those 4 people. And then everybody can kind of take turns doing that, and you're all kind of interconnected in this one main hub. And yeah, it just sounds like a really fun kind of a game.
It's like West Marches does sound interesting. It's like that's like West Marches is made for like large groups like that, right? I've seen like Discord servers for West Marches that are just massive.
Yeah,
So
by the sound of it,
this wasn't on the same level. What were you saying, Aiden?
by the sound of it, that would have been good for that 15-person group you had.
Maybe, yeah, but it's like most of us were new, and like the few like veterans were just doing whatever the hell they wanted with high-level characters. So the one shot that I was a part of, it's like that on West Marches, but a smaller scale, I guess. But it was everyone went to the same place. So it's like the plot was that this island that was full of treasure and adventure and just powerful stuff would appear once every few years or so. And whenever it appeared, adventurers were chosen at random. Of course, the adventurers that were chosen were the players that were there, but role play. Were chosen at random to go, and so the parties were put together and sent off to this island. One party would go, and they had a timer or a time limit before they would be magically transported off the island. And it's like the island had a huge dungeon inside of it, or you could explore the island. And whenever you were done, you were transported back, and the next party would be starting a few years later when the island reappeared again. And everything that we did on the island would still be there for the next party. Which we really fucked the next party up. Because we really...
Why? What did you do?
It wasn't me. I was playing a thief rogue, so it wasn't me. But we might have freed a kraken.
Oh.
Okay, you're making me feel like it was you.
It wasn't. It was not me. Okay, so on the ship there we have combat with a dragon turtle. I think. Yeah, it was a dragon turtle. Which is basically when I say combat, it was basically fend off the dragon turtle as you try to get away, and I forget. I think one of the spellcasters used something that got the dragon turtle to just go the other direction. And then we get to the island, and rather than going for the big dungeon tower in the center, we explored the rest of the island, because there was a lot to do on the island. And afterwards, the GM said that we explored more of the outside of the island than any other group previously, which he was very excited about, because he got to show a lot of these different areas he had planned that no group had gone to yet. But there was this one area outside the island where it's just a sheet of ice, and when we were walking over it, because inside like there was like a hole in the sheet of ice that had a bunch of the treasure that we're trying to find, because there was these like different colored rods that were that we could exchange when we got back for gold.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And so we see a bunch of those. It's like my character being the thief, like jumps down, gets it, and easily climbs back out. But someone, it's like then like we feel a shaking, and then a bunch of tentacles come out, and we find out that there is a kraken trapped underneath this ice. So all it can attack us with are these tentacles. But then
You broke the ice?
no, the spellcaster of the party decided to polymorph the kraken into a duck.
Oh.
Yeah, so polymorphed into a duck, so it turned into a duck now above the ice. And it's like, knowing that we had like an hour of polymorph, they ushered it to the ocean. The duck just flew off into the ocean. And we watched as it turned back into a kraken in the middle of the ocean. And the GM was just like, well, that's gonna be fun for the next party.
Yikes.
Okay.
So that means the next party is gonna have to deal with a dragon turtle and a kraken, because we released the kraken.
That reminds me of one story I encountered of mine as a GM.
Go on.
Yeah.
Well, here, in terms of turning a potentially fun encounter into something that frustrated me. So this was with the previous group before still in the Sylveon setting, before I collected all of you all. And there was this enemy type that was basically like Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, in that they could only move if no one was looking at them.
I hate that. I hate the Weeping Angels.
Yeah, I think they're awesome, but they're also terrifying.
They're terrifying. Oh my god.
But anyway, what happened was one of the players was a druid who had, I think it's called Wild Shift, where they could transform into animals. And there was a whole mechanic that we had in for the creatures and everything, where you had to make a test or blinked. But he turned into a gecko, and guess what geckos don't have to do?
Blink.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So they had him looking down corridors the whole time, making sure the creatures never got nearby. So it took a potentially really tense ordeal and made it into not a cakewalk, because they still had to deal with traps and deciphering other things.
But simplified it a lot.
Yes.
I mean, that's the beauty of D&D, is like it's like finding a workaround. It's like sometimes like you just gotta like power through and like deal with like these incredibly intense ordeals. But sometimes you can just be like, use your actual knowledge, be like, oh, I can do this, and just like ignore half of that. And that's just part of the creativity of D&D.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I was impressed and glad they were creative with it, but at the same time, I was like, oh, my soul.
Yeah, as long as you still reward the players for coming up with creative solutions, rather than punishing them, then it's all good.
Yeah.
I've heard too many stories where the GM has like plans like something super elaborate like that, and then like the players are just like, oh, but we can just if we do this and this, then we can just either go around it or ignore it, and then they're like, well, fuck you, you get nothing.
I mean, I wanted to punish them, but I held back because how could I wanted to be fair, because like basically what you just said, they came up with a very clever idea, and I wanted to. I didn't want to punish them for being clever.
Yeah, I know something like that happened several times in the Grimsbane campaign, where you're just like, I want to punish y'all because it's like you just skipped all this, but that was really clever. Yeah, it's like, don't punish your party for being clever. Also, for that one shot, my character, my rogue, almost became a permanent fixture of that one shot. Because I got petrified.
Oh.
What are those like dodo looking birds that turn you to stone?
Oh, I forget what they're called now. I know what you're on about.
I won this. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Cockatrice, that's it.
Thank you, Jotun. Hey, Jotun, how's it going? Now we have two.
We also have a question from Johnny as well.
Two Jotuns. Yeah, I got turned to stone, and if my party didn't had the option to just leave me and continue on, if they left me instead of trying to turn me back, then I literally handed my character sheet to the GM. I literally like when it happened, I was like, okay, you guys can go. I won't blame you. And it's like I just handed the character sheet to the GM and started packing up, and the GM was laughing. All right. What was the question?
The question from Johnny is, what's the most evil campaign idea any of you have had, if any?
Like evil campaign, like an evil party, or just a campaign with big evil in it?
I think he means like something like just sinister that we would have done to throw at the party or something.
Either or.
Either or.
Hmm.
I haven't really made my own homebrew campaign, so I can't really answer this.
I've not really had an idea for an evil campaign per se. I've wanted to run a campaign that's had players, like player characters, that are more morally ambiguous. They're not necessarily the good guys.
Oh my god, we have two Jotuns in chat. I don't know how to differentiate. we got red Jotun, blue Jotun.
Red Jotun and blue
Jotun
Jotun.
2.
Yeah.
Well, one's Jotun Arth and one Art and one's Jotun Red.
Yeah, it's like we got red Jotun, blue Jotun, one Jotun, two Jotun.
I remember that Wizard's Tower I threw Zan and Rupa through. Oh god. If it's the one he's on about, he made a dungeon, but he used a generator online, and the dungeon literally like sent you round in circles and rooms interconnected, and it was just like one big troll of a dungeon.
That sounds awesome. I would love to run that.
True Wizard's Tower. But yeah, I've not really had an evil campaign idea per se. I guess the only one, well, no, I guess I have. The only one I've had is there is a supplement out there somewhere, and it's about how to destroy your D&D world. and how to run a campaign while it's happening.
Oh shit, that sounds awesome. 'Cause I'm working on my own homebrew world right now, where it's like after the world was destroyed. Like, have I told you all about this? I think I started. I think I touched on this when we were drinking last week.
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, tell us about it, because I forgot.
I don't remember how much I said, but it was like, I wanted to make a world without gods, basically. But it's like the reason for that being, it's like the world is after a war between humanity, or the mortal races, and the gods. Because the gods were just like one day, all right, we're gonna restart, kill the humans, and of course humans didn't like that. So it was like there was a war between humanity, so all mortal races, humans, dwarves, elves, the whole shebang, versus the gods, and humans came out victorious, but it was a very much a Pyrrhic victory. So in defeating the gods, the world itself was destroyed. So those who still survive and exist on the fragments of the world that are inhabitable.
Unpleasant.
Very.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah. So I'm just slowly working on it right now. It's like my current ideas. It's like I'm making like just like one area, because I call the habitable parts of the world as shelves, or like a continental shelf, because it's like literally like, think of it like how you can see like a shattered moon in a lot of sci-fis. Imagine that, but Earth.
Okay.
So it's like literally like there are parts of the planet that aren't attached to the planet, but still like part of the gravity that keeps it together.
There's
So it's
big
prerogative.
rope bridges.
In some areas, it's like flying races are definitely super helpful, but it's like it's keep in mind most of mortal races are just gone. So I've been working on just like one area right now that's kind of like the starter area that I call the cradle, where it's just like all the survivors kind of went to like this one city, and it's become just like this melting pot hub of the survivors.
Is there a cat in it?
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
That was a bad joke.
I was actually planning on making an NPC an awakened cat.
you have dwarves.
Yes.
There we go.
Dwarves are there, yes. All it's like I actually have a list of like all the races that exist in the cradle, and it's like and like all standard races are there. Exotic races are also more commonly found there, but still pretty uncommon. But reborn are reborn and undead races are actually incredibly common, as since the god of death is dead, death has less significance in the world.
That sounds like a good kind of plot for like a roguelike video game.
It would probably be pretty cool. I also have it that's like there are the aspects of divinity left over by the gods out in the world. So it's like so I have like 3 pantheons. There are the dead gods that died in the war, the imprisoned gods that lost, and then they're the what I call mortal divines. They are the humans that have taken the divine aspects of the gods that killed.
Ooh, so they're like demigods.
Yeah, so they're like demigods. They have all the so they have the powers of the aspect of that god, but they're still mortal, so they can still die. So, but it's also so basically, if a god dies, their aspect is just kind of free floating and goes dormant, which means that part of the world that they govern is dormant. So like if the god of death dies and no one takes its aspect, then nobody dies, or souls don't move on to wherever they go now.
Oh, that is a little awkward.
Yeah, of course there is one of the mortal divines is the new god of death. So they call themselves mortal divines because they don't want to be worshipped as gods, because they just had a war with gods. Nobody wants gods.
Yeah.
I also had the idea of a event near the end of the war that I call the Plane Falls, where all the inner planes kind of crash into the mortal plane. So it's like
that sounds terrifying.
So it's like, of course,
Very terrifying.
So of course, the Shadowfell and Feywild is like you can find patches of, but then you can also find the fire plane, water plane, air plane, and earth plane in different aspects too, just like parts of the world. So it's like all like 7 planes kind of just combined into one, and that's part of the reason why the world is so broken.
Okay.
Ruins your whole week.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
Like the cradle's like in the most habitable part, and it's probably one of the biggest settlements that still exists. And I'm thinking that its technology levels are a little more like all Western style. So there's like trains and rudimentary electricity.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was discussed in when you guys did your chatting ordeal, because someone mentioned a train heist.
Oh yeah, because I think we started talking about how much we loved trains in
yes
in Full Metal Alchemist, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like the idea of trains being like a major mode of transportation.
Yeah, because I know in the setting Eberron, they have what's called the lightning rail, and that's literally a magic train. Yeah. And I think there's like an entire adventure that you can do on that. So
that sounds awesome. It's like I know it's like because of everything going on with the gods, there I have several classes like just completely locked. Like no clerics, paladins with any divine faith are not allowed. Celestial warlocks and divine soul sorcerers can't do. And then I'm debating on bards because the god of music is dead. I actually have a plan for like another city. I forget what I called it. But it's like it was like the original like city of the arts type of thing, where it's like it was like a Renaissance era type thing, like I think Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, the whole thing. It's like like music, art, and so many things came from this. It's like it's where the god of the arts and music lived, and where he died. And when he died, this entire area is just in black and white.
Oh, okay.
It's like
that's kind of neat.
Yeah, so it's like the music died there, and then the color went with it.
The music died there.
Yeah, and so the music died.
And you see, you saying that, and that's the first thing I thought of, that song.
That's what gave me the idea is American Pie.
Well, okay then.
Hey, you can get inspiration from anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we that's what we did for Sylveon.
Where'd y'all get inspiration for Sylvia?
Well, some of it's from Warhammer Fantasy, some of it's from classic, from some anime series that we've seen, some of it's just stuff that we came up with on the fly. Mix it, we kind of drew inspiration from a lot of things and just decided to craft our own setting.
Nice.
Best way to do it.
Yeah. But again, it's not my brainchild, it's Keikia's brainchild.
Well, I imagine you still have a huge part in it because you are like running a campaign in it, and you're having to make stuff up as you go.
Yeah, like
Correct. Desert Elves were my brainchild.
I love Desert Elves so much. It's like I know each of us as players have affected the world in some way. So you as a GM and the husband of the original creator have a huge impact on the world.
That is correct, but you guys have also had a great impact. That's one thing Kay loves about what we do. We help her set up the setting more.
Honestly, that's just how it goes. My other campaign that I'm in, it's like the world's still being made. It's like we're just playing in the parts of the world that's already made, and as we come up with ideas and do things, the GM is taking what we do and things that we say and using that to fashion the rest of the world.
That's what I've done with my fantasy setting as well.
It's like because we're actually getting close to the end of that campaign, and we're getting ready to start our next campaign in the same world but on a different continent. It's like I made my character for it like a year ago, and like I started sending him like ideas I had, and apparently because like it's very entwined with the politics of that nation and that continent, that it's helped him kind of flesh out those areas of that world.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. I'm also really looking forward to in Sylveon when we actually get to fight the Krukai and get to set sail across the oceans.
Yeah,
we'll defeat the crab people.
We'll defeat the crab people and what else?
And sail off into the seas.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a plan for in the future. To deal with those stupid crab people. No offense to any crab people out there, of course.
Oh yeah, because there's literal crab people watching right now. Oh, that Aiden's so offended.
Exactly. And I don't want them to hate me.
Hey, you never know. There's that one YouTuber, that one D&D YouTuber. It's like crab something.
Oh, Crit Crab.
Crit Crab. Yeah. Crit Crab and all of his crabs.
Oh no.
They walk like crabs but talk like people. Oh no.
Oh jeez.
And Discover America. Yes, I really want to see what's, because like it's like I know it's like the GM and Cake like dropped hints about like potential things on the other side of the water, and I really want to do it. I really want to check it out.
It would be cool to find out.
I also love exploratory type stories. It's like I'm really excited for that. Hell, it's like Final Fantasy 14 is doing that right now. It's like the next the next DLC that's about to drop next year or at the end of this year. I don't remember. Yeah, next year is going to what they call the New World.
Well, here, when that finally happens, you guys are welcome to join in for that exploration.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What setting have you not played that you want to play from the Phantom King?
I'm not really sure. I'm kind of an open. I prefer homebrew settings, but I've always been. And there's some homebrew. Are we talking about established settings or homebrew settings, or both?
I imagine both.
I'd say it's like let's stick with established. And then like if there's a homebrew setting that you want to play in that you haven't yet, then we can bring that up. For me, established settings, I really want to play in Greyhawk.
I have played in Greyhawk thanks to my father.
Yeah, like Greyhawk and Dragonlance are two settings I really want to try out.
I would like to play in Ravenloft, actually.
Oh, same. I've been wanting to play Curse of Strahd so badly. Like I want to do it as a player first, before, but it's like it's like anyone I talk to about it, I feel like I need to DM it.
Yeah, you know what, Ravenloft for me, because I've done Ravenloft, but the GM I did it with was terrible. So definitely Ravenloft with a better GM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keiki says I really.
DRU in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
Kay says I really want to play in Zan sci-fi setting. I really do too. I know I have a couple characters that I want to make with Zan's races.
Yeah, it's God. Instead of making a single planet because it's a sci-fi setting, I'm like, you know what? Let's make a galaxy because I'm a madman.
I love that. Also, Sayuri, am I redeemed hydrate? Everybody go get a drink of water. I will hydrate.
Hey,
I need to go refill my cup.
I first saw this coming, so I actually have a bottle of water with me.
Badass. All right, give me 1 second to refill my cup because I've been drinking this whole time.
But yeah, you're a madman, Zan, but that's part of the reason why we love you.
Yep, I have mad plans.
Good to hear.
Yeah, so I think official settings would be Ravenloft for me.
Same here.
Unofficial settings that have kind of been like quite successful Kickstarters. There's one in particular called Grim Hollow that I would actually like to try.
What's the one that Critical Role sets in? Is that an established setting or is that their own setting?
The Critical Role one is Matt Mercer's creation, which is the world's called Exandria, but they've played on Wildmount, which is one continent. I can't remember what the other continent was called.
So they played on three continents right now. It's like there is shit. What is it? Because Wildmount was the second continent.
Yeah, that was campaign 2.
And campaign 3 is on Marquette.
Oh, okay.
And then the first one was on. What is it? Tal'Dorei. Thank you.
Oh, Tal'Dorei.
Thank you. Yeah, it's Tal'Dorei, Wildmount, and Marquette. Wildmount has its own official D&D book. Tal'Dorei has a official Critical Role book, but not official D&D. But so does D&D 5e rules. Marquette doesn't have anything yet. Though you can get Tal'Dorei Reborn on D&D Beyond now.
Yeah, surprisingly, it just randomly appeared.
Yeah, like no fanfare or anything.
Hey guys, can I step away for a quick minute?
No.
Of course you can. The duality of answers.
Well, here again, Zan's my boss, so I have to. I'm taking his.
This is my channel, so my house, my rules. I'm joking.
Damn it.
I'm joking. You're in my castle. You do what I say.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, okay.
Okay.
If you haven't taken a drink of water, take a drink of water right now.
I have.
I got Kool-Aid. Probably should.
It's its own setting, but it's unpublished. Oh yeah, it's got its own published books. I really want to try being a werewolf in that setting. I think is that the one that has the full rules for becoming a werewolf? Because yes.
What setting?
Grim Hollow, if you've ever heard of it.
Oh, I've seen ads for it from the D&D YouTubers. It looks really good. I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, here. I just got. I haven't gotten it yet, but on Kickstarter, I've backed a couple of other like. I've backed a few different things. Let me see. I got this one that I'm looking forward to called Vagabond's Guide to Daladria, which is a Celtic-inspired setting, and I am Scottish by heritage, so it's like looking at that, I'm very excited about that, and I'm actually using it to fashion certain parts of my world.
Ooh, okay.
It's like it gives some really funny really funny things. I think I showed you it. It gives like leprechauns and whatnot, but also gives a riding goose.
Wait, so a goose is a mount?
Yes, for a small race. It's a goose it's a war goose, I think is what it's called.
A war goose.
Yeah,
of course.
Here. If I can find it, I will send it to you. I just need to see where they sent it to me. But it's like it gives like a leprechaun as a race, a war goose, which is like think of that as a goose that are as big as the riding dogs that Navna and Dyra ride.
Oh, so a goose as big as a mastiff.
Yes.
That's a big goose.
It's a very big goose and it's got teeth.
Can it fly?
Maybe I'll have to check.
Is it as mean as normal geese?
It looks like it.
The most vicious variety is the Canadian war goose.
All right, let's see.
A Canadian goose really that bad?
Oh, they hiss at you.
Really?
Yeah.
Other things I have back is like Fool's Gold, Into the Bellowing Wilds from the Fool's Gold series on YouTube. I'm very excited about that because it's like I don't know if y'all have watched that series.
I haven't.
It's like
I've never even heard of it.
I'll send you all a link to it. It's really cool. It's from Dingo Doodles on YouTube, and it's just like her like retelling her D&D campaign. That's like 3.5 edition with heavy homebrew, and just the chaos that they get into. Like it started with just being like how we destroyed the world with dancing, because it's like she accidentally released a she's playing a 3.5 wild mage. And she accidentally used wild magic, created a massive anti-magic zone, and freed a Tarask while they were level 4.
Fantastic.
Oh no!
And then it just started off as like a story of like how we did this, and then it's and she's been telling the story of like the rest of the campaign since, because everyone was super interested in it. And honestly, it's a fun story. She plays an awakened monkey that's cursed with like an alligator hand. And that's the cause of the wild magic and a bunch of other stuff. But it's like,
wait, an alligator hand isn't like an alligator's hand, or a hand that's like an alligator's head?
It's explained as an alligator's hand, but it's like a 5-fingered hand just with alligator scales. Yeah, I'm talking about Dingo Doodles. It's like I got I think they might have sent that. Let me check it out. But it's like I got the Into the Bellowing Wilds book that they made. And I'm very excited because like they have homebrew races and like the entire setting homebrew setting that they've made for their campaign into an official book, and they actually were like a sponsor on Critical Role Campaign 3 because like part of the pledge was a massive Tarask mini.
Ooh!
Like,
I remember seeing that. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't back enough to get that. I might have gotten the I might have gotten the STL file for it though.
I have an Onyx Dragon. That's the biggest mini I've got, and I'm terrified of putting it together.
The biggest mini I have is a gold dragon from Waterdeep. You ran Waterdeep Dragon Heist, right?
I've played in Dragon Heist, so I've played in it till the end, yeah.
Okay. I have a mini for Oranax.
Ooh.
The gold dragon that protects the Horde.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
It's like I paid like $90 for this mini, and as years ago, and I have not even put it together, let alone painted it. Because it looks so cool. I don't trust my own painting skills. It's like if I could, I would send it to you, have you paint it, and send it back.
Yeah, here I have a similar problem. I have a Sanguinus model for Warhammer. That's a limited edition model, and he's one of my favorite characters, and I refuse. Or just am too terrified to even prime it because I'm worried I'll screw it up.
Oh, here, let me go grab my mini real fast so I can take a picture of it. Yeah, spoilers for Dragon Heist, by the way.
Yes,
yeah, sorry.
Yes, Zan, it's the same one that you and Sarah was telling me to do.
I know. Can we drop links in your Twitch channel, or have you got it turned off, Emrys?
I think he stepped away to take a picture of that model.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I've got a picture of the dragon.
In here, I know you and Sarah are right, but I'm just too scared.
What, to prime the model?
Yeah, because it's a limited edition and I don't want to mess it up.
So, light, thin coats. That's all you have to do. Don't try and get 100% coverage in one go. Just do a bit, stop. Let it dry, come back to it, do a bit, stop. And you'll be fine. Yeah, save up money and send it to a commission painter. That's always a good thing to do.
Who suggested that?
Tasted. There's actually a fair few YouTube commission painters out there, or just general content creators. There's a lot on Instagram as well, that are US based. Oh yes, Siege Studios. That's a very very good one. That's in the UK, I believe.
I'm back.
But I'm sure they ship worldwide. Welcome back.
Just so you know, we got an ad break in about a minute.
Right.
I've been snoozing them as much as I can, but won't let me snooze anymore.
Can we post links in your Twitch, or have you got it disabled?
I think I have it. I think it's able to. I'm pretty sure I turned that on for a while back.
Right. Let's see if that'll work. Yes. That's the dragon I have.
Right, here, I'm sending you. I'm dropping it in podcast chat. The dragon that I got.
Let's have a look in podcast chat.
Let's have a look. What's in the book? Reading Rainbow.
Ah, that's cool.
Ooh, that's awesome.
I need someone to paint this because I can't. There's no way. I want this. Like, it's like I will buy whatever paints I need to, but I can't paint it.
I can see how to actually do that quite easily.
Yeah, there are some like I'm sure like I've talked to a few people that were willing to do it to paint it by commission, but here I will post the dragon in the D&D section of. Do I have a D&D section? I should have a D&D section. I'll just post it in general. So if I'll just post it in general so that anyone who wants to see it can see it.
And I posted the one that I've got in your Twitch chat. You should probably just put it in the podcast chat as well.
It's like I've recently moved, and since I moved, for some reason, all of my bots are dead. So there's my Discord.
Your bots are dead? Why are your bots dead?
I don't know. They just stopped working all of a sudden. I haven't really had the time to fix them. It's like most of my stuff I just kind of switched over to my Stream Deck, but my Stream Deck is still packed.
Ah.
But I got that when I was running Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and I was planning on like painting it or getting it painted and using it. But every time I run Dragon Heist, it fizzles out. I only get to about the big mansion during the search.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's like it's always fizzles out around that point, and it's like it's my like I want to finish it at one point in time. It's like. After like my other group finishes, we finish the campaign. I've talked to them about running Waterdeep Dragon Heist as an in-between game, since it's only up to level 5, and we can get that done in like 2 or 3 months, which gives my DM a chance to take a break and start writing the next campaign without worrying about it.
Yeah.
Also, welcome back. The ad break is now over. If you couldn't hear anything that we're talking about, we're just talking about Waterdeep. And how I can't fucking finish it.
Not water shallow, water deep.
I like Waterdeep as a setting.
Yeah, Waterdeep is a massive place you can just roam around in.
Yeah, there's so much to do in it. I honestly want...
And so much underneath it, too.
Oh, yeah. It's like I've never... I own the book for Dungeons & Mad Mage, but I've never played in it.
Yeah, I bought both books.
Honestly, I want them to do more Faerun books. Just because, like, they only touch on the Sword Coast. But
it's because the Sword Coast is the main setting, really, for 5th edition, so that's why it got all the attention.
Yeah, but even then, they've only it's like they barely touch on anything. There's no book Descent into Avernus. There's Descent into Avernus, but there's not really much information in 5e on just the internals of Baldur's Gate.
No, that's true. Well, there's that with Descent into Avernus. There is the whole Baldur's Gate Gazette, which actually does have a lot of detailed information about Baldur's Gate in general.
Reading that has helped a lot, because I remember first time I tried to run Tyranny of Dragons, which is like one of the I believe, Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is one of the first like full modules out there. Just it's like the party goes through. The party goes through Baldur's Gate, but it just gives you like a paragraph on it, and it's meant to just be like get in, get out. But it's like it says if players want to like spend some time in here, it's like make it up. And I'm just like, how make what up? There's nothing here.
And also, I'm not gonna lie, I thought you said Tyrannid dragons.
No, Tyranny of Dragons.
I realize that now, but I thought you said Tyrannid.
It is Rise of Tiamat and Horde of the Dragon Queen, which I have the cool like collector's edition book that I absolutely love.
Oh, did you buy the like remastered version?
Yes.
Because they redid the entire adventure, because when they first released it, I believe people had a lot of problems with it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of issues with it. I know even with the remaster, it doesn't really fix everything. It's just like
okay.
It's like the main issue that I see most people say is that the first chapter is almost unplayable as written.
Oof,
Which, as someone who's
that's
run
bad.
that chapter multiple times, it is really bad because it pits the party with an adult blue dragon. It's like
And they're supposed to be what level?
first level and second level. You don't get the third level until way after that.
Oh,
It's like you level
Okay,
up.
then.
It's like basically you start at level 1, and then it's like how it starts. Spoilers for Tyranny of Dragon / Horde of the Dragon Queen. First chapter is literally you are everyone's going to a town of Greenest. So that's the like hook that it's like all of your party members for one reason or another are going to Greenest, and so they're traveling together. And when you get there, they find it's on fire. And it's like sun's going down, it's on fire, and you see a dragon is attacking. And then as you get in, you see that not only is a dragon attacking, but it's getting raided. So
Yikes.
yeah, and so it's just like you got to fight off all these raiders, save civilians, get to the fort. And that's just the first half of like that's just the first page. What the hell? Tyrannid, Harridan, Gargoyle clusters? What the fuck?
That's basically a dragon in 40k, and it's how horrifyingly large in real life.
Oh my god. Yeah, and so that's the first page. Once you get to the fort, bam, you're level 2. It's very fast to level 2, and then you go from the rest of the first chapter in level 1 or level 2, but there's no long rest because it's all happening. It's all a time thing where it's like you got to help this town get as many of its citizens back into the fort as possible, fighting off these raiders that are like a group like kobolds and cultists. No, would love
Kobolds
it.
and cultists.
Yeah, it deals with the cult of the dragon.
Kobolds and cultists. That also sounds like a show.
It's kobolds and cultists. That is a show starring Navna and a dark elf.
That would be good.
It's like
But we all know how it's gonna end. I'm just gonna stab the dark elf and then boom, it's over.
oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but imagine like if Sylveon, like if we were like an anime or a TV show, and at the end after credits it just has like a little snippet of like Navna and an NPC talking, and it's just like, hello, welcome back to Kobolds and Cultists. I tried to do Navna, but I slipped back into Prospector. That was not on purpose.
Think Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, and that's Navna.
Eagle.
It's easy.
This is not. I can't do it that well either. This is not.
Navna, let's go. Me Kobold now too.
You slipped into Prospector again.
hurt,
This
is
ain't-
precious?
No, this is Prospector. I tell you what, now, so yeah, we're just gonna keep on going.
Ah, my ears are bleeding.
It's the one thing I love about that particular voice, because it's both Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, it's Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, and then it's the one I use for kobolds, so you just can't go wrong.
Misa,
what a
quick star.
Oh, and yeah, Jar Jar Binks. Sort of.
Jar Jar Binks.
No, I was
Sort of.
saying the thing that Stitch says.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Misa Wanaquista.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that makes everyone puke.
If you ever get to play Deadlands, Embers and the Man, they make a mad prospector and use that voice. All right, bet I will. George and Aiden, fuck.
What?
It's like, I need you to
He's
run a
dead.
I need you to. Sorry, I said the wrong name. I need you to run a Deadlands game.
What's Deadlands?
I don't know, but apparently I got to do a mad prospector.
I kind of know what it is. Think the Wild West, but there's magic.
Ooh, that's what.
That sounds fun.
I've been wanting to make a setting for that for so long.
Like here, the Texas Rangers, they're both the Texas Rangers and Monster Hunters.
Oh fuck yeah, that's fucking awesome. Like, why didn't anyone tell me this? I've been wanting fantasy and western built into each other for so fucking long.
Weird West.
Why am I just now finding this out?
Oh, Taz says he'll run it if it's anyone.
I'm in.
I would be in on that too if it's a one shot.
No, full campaign. Oh.
Speaking of poorly done, my question to the stream is, though I believe I know Zan's answer, how would you fix sorcerers?
How would you fix sorcerer? I don't feel I know enough of mechanics to really answer on this. I've never played sorcerer.
Sorcerers need to be a 100. Well, they are a full caster, but they're not a good enough full caster. They should have more spell slots for one thing. I feel like they should have more meta magic options. They should just gain them as they level, rather than you're just stuck with a couple. I think. I remember. I had a really good answer for this once upon a time.
It's like, for someone whose entire persona is based on a sorcerer, I have no idea.
Like here, my experience with sorcerers is actually very limited. In fact, the one sorcerer I really spent a lot of time with was Lena Lee, and Lena Lee was a badass. So I'm not really. I mean, I'm sure there's something wrong with sorcerers, but in my experience, they don't seem any different. But please don't take that the wrong way. I'm sure there's a problem. I just don't know it.
Well, it's like
origin spells. That was it.
Yeah, it's like they can be. It's like, from what I've seen or from what I've heard, sorcerers can be badass, but they're just underpowered in comparison to the one other like full caster that is full arcane caster that is wizard. Wizard gets so many spells, the ability to switch out spells, learn more in between levels, and then tons of slots.
They did semi-fix Sorcerer with Divine Soul Sorcerer, and that's why it is one of the most popular Sorcerer subclasses to go for.
Yeah.
Because it actually has origin spells that you just get as you level up.
Oh.
And normal Sorcerers don't get that. So if you just give every sorcerer subclass origin spells that you just outright get and know.
Oh, kind of like a domain spell from a cleric.
Yeah, like domain spells.
Oh, yeah.
Not Divine Soul. Oh, not Divine Soul?
Well, what do storm sorcerers do? Because that was what Lena Lee was, and like I said, she was a monster.
Storm sorcerers.
Oh, I'm thinking of Aberrant Soul. Okay.
Storm sorcerers get the ability to read and write primordial. They get tempestuous magic. It's like you use a bonus action to cause whirling gusts of air to briefly surround you immediately before or after you cast a spell. Doing so allows you to fly up to 10 feet without provoking attacks. Heart of the Storm at 6th level, you gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage. And deals and then Storm Guide, which is if it's raining, you can use an action to cause the rain to stop falling. That's Storm Sorcery. Then there's more the 14th and 18th level, but not a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking of Divine Soul because it has access to the cleric spell list, so you have so many more fun options as a sorcerer to pick
Aberrant,
from.
Clockwork, and Lunar have origin spells.
Ah, okay.
I want to do a Clockwork Soul sorcerer at some point.
They do seem fun. The fluff is very fun sounding.
Like, I have been talking with George because I have had this character idea for a while. I just need to get someone to draw it, and then I'll probably play it in some sort of set at some time of a Clockwork Soul sorcerer, but they're just a living doll.
and that you've been talking to.
Aiden.
Well,
You.
Yes, we are talking right now.
No. What I mean is, sorry, my brain shut off there for a second. I was gonna ask, is this for a Sylveon character?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Like I've mentioned it to you and to Keiki a few times because it's an idea I want to like explore of just like this a character that's just a living doll, like just it's like a sentient living doll.
I mean, that sounds intriguing. So I'm sure you've talked to me about it. And
It was a
I just
while.
don't
It
remember.
was a while back. Rangers suffer from permanent rangeritis. I do like the Tasha's Rangers fixes that they've given.
They do help a lot,
Yeah, 'cause
definitely.
weren't Rangers crap before Tasha fixed it?
Yeah,
Pretty
and then
much.
there was like the Unearthed Arcana revised Ranger for a while. That's like if anyone on my tables ran Ranger, I handed them that instead, which ran a lot better. And then Tasha's fixed, quote unquote fixed, the Canon Ranger, but they're not as powerful as the revised in my opinion. But definitely make Tasha's switches and replacements for the Ranger feats definitely get rid of the main issue, which is that Rangers are very situational with their abilities, and that's like because like all Rangers, like you pick like a certain type of monster to just be really really good at killing, and then a certain type of terrain to be really really good at traversing. But if you choose to like a snowy terrain and the goblins are really good at hunting dragons, but you're fighting fire giants and throughout the entire campaign, none of that's gonna be used because you're in
Yeah.
fiery terrain and you're fighting fucking giants.
Very niche features.
But Tasha's got rid of that. It allowed you to kind of change it up, give you the ability to switch your preferred killing, your preferred racism when you wake up after a long rest.
Oh, that's what it is now? Or
Yeah, you could. Well, it used to be that once you chose it, then it was always. Then you were stuck with.
yeah,
that.
it was locked in. Yeah.
What Ranger was Rosh again, Saru? Because I remember him playing a Ranger for that mini campaign we did. Because that Ranger seemed Hunter, okay? Because he seemed like a pretty decent Ranger type. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I know the character, I just didn't know the
I
subclass.
don't know the character, so. Yeah. So
It's from the one shot we did on the coast of Sylveon.
You played the Oni Warlock. Do you not remember that?
It's gone.
Alright, so I pulled up the Ranger abilities here. So the original abilities is Favored Enemy and Natural Explorer, which Favored Enemy is you pick 2 favored enemy types, like Aberrations, Beasts, Celestials, Dragons, stuff like that, or 2 different types of humanoids, like Goblins, Gnolls, Orcs, Elves, the type. But you only get 2, and then you have advantage on survival checks to track them, and you learn the languages that they speak. No additional damage or anything, no extra ability to hurt them, just tracking them. Then Natural Explorer, you choose 1 favorite terrain, Arctic coast, desert, forest, or the lot. And just means difficult terrain doesn't slow you. You can't get lost by magical means. You remain alert to danger even when traveling, foraging, or all that jazz. If you are alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace. Which rogues can already kind of do anywhere. And when you're foraging for food, you find twice as much food as you normally would, which is almost never taken into account. And when you're tracking creatures, you learn their exact number, size, and how long they passed, which most of this stuff rarely ever comes into account, and it's only in a single type of terrain. In the new versions, replacing Natural Explorer is Deft Explorer, where you are Unsurpassed Explorer and Survivor in Wilderness and others, and dealing with others while you survival. You gain different abilities throughout the levels. At level 1, you gain Canny, which is your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses the chosen one of your skill proficiencies that you choose, and you gain 2 additional languages. At 6th level, your walking speed just increases by 5 feet, and you get a climbing and swimming speed equal to your walking speed, so they're not halved like they used to be. And at 10th level, you gain Tireless. So you can give yourself a number of temporary hit points equals 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier, and you can use and you can do that equal to your proficiency bonus amount of times, and you regain your expended uses when you finish a long rest, and you can actually remove exhaustion after a short rest. And then
Not bad.
replacing favored enemy is favored foe. So whenever you hit a creature on an attack roll, you can actually mark them as your favorite enemy. So instead of having just a specific type of creature, when you're fighting someone, you can just be like, fuck you in particular. And just like, it's like, fuck you and your life, and just really hurt this guy. It's like each time you hit the person that you, so it's like, it's much more personal as opposed to entire just a race. You can just be like, I really don't like you, and whenever you hit him, you get an additional 1d4 damage, which increases at 6th level and 14th level. And you can do that a number of times equals a proficiency bonus and regain it on a long rest. So once you kill your favorite enemy, you can find another guy and be like, okay, he's dead, now you're next.
I like that.
So it
I like the sound of that too.
gets rid of the situational abilities and makes it just more all around usable. And then it adds new ranger spells like Entangle, Searing Smite, Smite, Aid, Enhance Ability, Gust, Magic Weapon, Summon Beast, and then a bunch more that I could get into. But so it just adds more stuff.
Wasn't it Beastmaster that was the worst?
Beastmaster sucked, but there is actually a new Beastmaster edit from Tasha's that helped it a little bit. I still prefer the Unearthed Arcana Beastmaster.
I think a lot of people prefer the Unearthed Arcana stuff generally because it's a bit more powerful, but it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, with the Unearthed Arcana, they completely reworked the class. With Tasha, they just gave you options to replace a couple of existing feats, as opposed to full reworks. I got it. All right. Sorry about that. Right, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be back.
Okay, and then I have a question.
From chat or from you?
From me to all of us. But let's have a look at what chat's saying. Beavis Master is just a tragedy. Tasha salvaged it, but the stain of the PHP version remains. Sorcerers are a thing. Yeah. Bards on the other hand. Yeah, Bards. College of Law Bards are just... It's a win-win.
Like, are they broken?
I wouldn't say they're broken, but they're definitely powerful.
Like
that was my first D&D character, for example.
Yeah, Kirla, right?
Yes. Yeah, I played a Drow College of Law Bard. So I still had the sunlight sensitivity from being a Drow, so I was relying more on my spells than anything else. But Bards are definitely a support caster, not a damage caster, although they do get access to some really good damage spells. So yeah, they get access to like teleportation circle and teleport, so it's like if a GM's not prepared for that, oh boy. So I'll be interested to see how you handle it in the current campaign, Aiden.
I fear you.
Me? It's Saru's character that you need to be worried about, because that's the wizard.
Yeah, when I say you, I meant the royal you in this case.
Ah. Divination wizard with lucky while being halfling. Your answer to everything is be halfling with lucky. Rupa.
Yeah, Rupa... Never mind. I don't know where I was going with that.
It just works. It does. Zan is spoopy. Why am I spoopy? What have I done?
Yeah, what did Zan do?
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We like making spells. Or whatever it is, I can't remember.
I trust Sorrow to not power game wizard.
I don't think he will.
I don't think so either.
I know very few power games, so... All this talk about Ranger, I do need to play that Fey Ranger.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I have a question.
I have an answer. Good talk.
What, if any, is your favorite third-party D&D book?
Ooh,
Jeez,
Okay. that's a big one.
I'll go first so
Yeah.
that you can think about it. My favorite one is Creature Codex from Kobold Press. It's an absolutely fantastic 350 plus page book full of monsters and amazing ideas and stat blocks for pretty much most things, including drakes. Lots of drakes and dragons in there, so that's my favorite go-to when I want something outside of the monster manual.
You know what? I'd probably not to sound like a cop out, but I'd probably have to say the same thing. Creature Codex.
Oh, do you have it as well?
Yeah, I do. And I like any of them that give me good monsters to throw at things because I love me my monsters.
I only have a few third-party books so far. I'm waiting on a few Kickstarters that I've done. As I'd say, like, out of the ones that I currently have, my favorite is probably the Game Master's Book of Legendary Dragons.
Ooh, okay.
Which this is it was a birthday gift from my other GM that it's like he sent me. It's actually got the Dragon Rider class that I'll be playing in your campaign, Zen.
Ah, that's where it comes from. Okay.
But it's full of just homebrew dragons. But it's like each dragon in here is worthy of being a BBEG. Like tells you like what would be in their lair, their powers, their abilities, their lore. Like it's got Jormungandr in here.
Ooh.
It's like
That's pretty awesome.
this is the first book I've seen that had Titanic-sized enemies. I didn't know they got bigger than Gargantuan. I had to look up like how big Titanic size it was, and it's
Titanic's like, isn't it 50-foot base and bigger?
it's something like that. It's fucking huge. It's like literally like I think the only one in here that's actually Titanic size is Jormungandr, and literally like when it explains his lair, it says the entire ocean is his lair.
Fantastic.
It's like basically like reading Jormungandr is that you don't want to fight him, you just want him to like you so he gives you things.
Let's have a look.
Used to call that
Do a power
colossal.
game unless it's out of vengeance.
I've actually never met a power gamer. Like I can, it's like or like a min, or like a serious min maxer.
I've played with people that like very optimized characters, which is not what I do in the slightest.
Like I can understand optimizing, but there's also just the fun of playing like a certain thing. Like I optimized my death cleric just because like I was looking up like what would be a good way to play it, so that it's like I could play it without it being just weak as hell. And it's like so I optimized it by taking 2 levels of fighter and then the rest of it is clerics. It's like 2 levels of fighter just for action surge and heavy armor proficiency, without wasting a feat.
Excuse me for a minute. I'm gonna go use the restroom myself.
Okay.
I think so. I got a few third-party books on my. It's like I could tell you about my least favorite third-party book.
Sure.
I got a book called I backed it on Kickstarter years ago called Anime 5e.
Okay.
It's like it was supposed to be like it's 5th edition fantasy role-playing reimagined with anime tropes as classes and races, which sounds really cool, but the way they did the book, it's not something that you can just add to a 5e game, because it's a for the races and classes. It changed the entire character building system.
Oh, so you have to use it the way they've made it, basically.
Yeah, it's like instead of having like races with simplified like bonuses and whatnot, is you give your players a certain amount of points that they can spend on race, class, racial features, and class features.
Okay.
So it sounds really cool, and you can have two players that are the same race and class and be completely different in every aspect. But that also means there is no subclasses or subraces or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, and it just makes it a lot more complicated and doesn't blend with like regular D&D. So it has a whole section on taking existing D&D classes and races and changing it to this system. So it's basically just a whole new system of character creation, and that's like I couldn't really use and just bring into a new into an existing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like pure point by D&D, like not point by stats, but point by everything. Like different races cost different points, and then different abilities for those races cost different points. I actually got a physical copy of this book somewhere. I can find it.
That just sounds. I don't know.
It
kind of sounds like Mutants and Masterminds, but they wanted to make it for 5th edition.
Yeah, it's like the only thing 5th edition about it is that it uses the D&D like core rules. But it's like I wanted it for the races and classes and to use with D&D games. Just be, I mean, you know, just like to add it as like another D&D. What is it? Source book.
Yeah.
But it basically just feels more like a whole brand new system.
What did you say? The War Mage class book from Mage Hand Press. Best class ever for 5e, perfect in every way. I have to have a look at that.
I also have like something I talked about a lot back when we were playing Grimsbane. I have Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting.
Is that the one I've seen in like the trailers? It's an orky lass talking about it. I think.
I don't know. Maybe it's like I backed it like 2 years ago. I backed it early into the Grimsbane campaign. But it's like it gives a couple new monsters based off of Monster Hunter, and then also just gives you rules for crafting magic items and weapons from monster parts.
Oh, okay.
It's like I used it for Yuki's crafting a lot.
Ah, that's what you were doing.
Yeah, it's like sort of like a lot of it still required like a big amount of time that we didn't have, so I worked with the GM to see what we could do.
I returned, by the way.
Welcome back. It doesn't really do any.
Welcome back.
It doesn't really do a lot of homebrew items, but it has a lot of homebrew monsters and just rules for item crafting, which 5e doesn't do a lot.
Nightfell is like the setting Farron was describing earlier. Okay.
And then I got Fool's Gold and Vagabonds, which I was telling you about.
Vagabond.
Yeah, Vagabond's Guide to Deladria.
Oh, okay.
Still waiting on that one. Fool's Gold into the Bellowing Wilds. I think that's actually out. I can download it as PDF right now.
Yeah, I think out of Kickstarted ones, I've got Strongholds and Followers, Kingdoms of Warfare, and then Animal Adventures: Secrets of Gullet Cove. But I backed 2 of their other Kickstarters that were just pure PDF books with miniatures. I do want to try the Animal Adventures ones though, because it basically brings awakened cats and dogs into your world, but it's full classes and it's not classes per se. It's awakened animals, and it tells you how to use them with each class.
Ooh.
So
That sounds awesome.
It does.
yeah, and they can talk and everything.
It's like I have like a few homebrew like animal races that are meant to just be like that I found over the years that are just meant to be awakened animals that you just use as a race.
Yeah.
Like I have an awakened cat race I've been wanting to use. I'm actually. Have I shown y'all? Oh, okay, I gotta show you something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think you've shown us whatever you're thinking about.
No, probably not because I can't show it in Sylveon because it's a surprise it's a one-shot character I'm planning, but no one in the party knows what the character's gonna be except me, the DM, and the artist who drew it.
Okay.
And Crow's in that party. So here I'm gonna drop.
So you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
That's why you can't share it there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop this into podcast chat. So
Be careful. Is Crow in your server?
She's podcast chat is only for us.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like no one else can see that. It's just like I have the collab. All the collab channels are specific to my collab partners.
Forgive my ignorance.
The most chaotic character I could make is a wild magic sorcerer.
I do see Crow in the podcast chat channel. Just so you know, Emrys.
Oh right, she's an admin. Fuck. It's fine.
Well,
I saw the chicken. It's okay.
Yeah. It's a wild magic sorcerer awakened chicken.
That's fantastic.
Named Chicken.
Cluck, cluck, blam.
Yeah, I am just waiting so impatiently for that one shot. I've been waiting for it for so long, but it's like it's gonna be. And the GM's making a homebrew chicken race for me to use with it. And it's gonna be so much fun and just chaos. I'm gonna have a soundboard of chicken sounds, and I can also go.
Oh, Crow's gonna kill you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Everyone in chat, you are sworn to secrecy. That includes you two.
I think they'll forget anyway. It's okay.
But yeah.
Man, I do not envy her.
Rupa, no. It's gonna be great. It's only for a one shot, so it's not gonna be that bad. But it's gonna be absolutely hilarious. Like it started like I was gonna like play a goblin wild magic sorcerer because I played one. Why are you redeeming Sacred Game? We're not playing a game right now.
Oh no, the floodgates have opened again.
We're not playing a game. Stop it.
Okay, don't you start it too.
I swear to God. Okay. Oh my God.
Run.
Remind me on my 3.0 model to give a facepalm emote.
Okay.
That'll be perfect.
You need a face. You need a face palm emoji.
Oh yeah. You know what? Let me contact an artist about that. Hello there. All right. Task has redeemed stretch. So everybody, stretch. That goes for you two and everybody in chat. Stand up if you need to. Like, stretch your back.
King's doing it now.
I'm gonna start muting y'all. I'm gonna start removing shit.
And
Rupa,
hydrate as well.
Yeah, Rupa redeemed hydrate. All right, everybody, take a big drink of water.
I do not have a water with me right now. Crap.
Well, what happened to being so prepared? Also,
Yeah.
And Sayuri, Maya redeemed Hanyu. Hi, Sayuri. My name's Emrys Fair, and I'm a half dragon VTuber. I play a lot of RPG games, TTRPGs, and I do a little podcast like this with my friends Aiden and Zan. We just talk about D&D, TTRPGs, and our experiences, and hopefully can shed a little light on any questions that y'all might have. This is my friend Zan Falconis.
Hello there.
Zan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, I'm introducing myself. Hi, everybody. I'm Zan. I'm a half alien wolf boy VTuber. I don't know why I dropped into that voice. I really don't.
You? Yes. I can tell you why. It's Emrys's prospector voice. It's infecting us.
I ain't used it in a while. If it's infected you, that's not my fault.
I'm a variety streamer, so I primarily do video games, but I'm branching out into doing miniatures. I've recently just got massive upgrades for doing miniature streams, which involves building and painting and converting them. So that's what I do on the internet.
Well, yeah, I'm planning a Gunpla building stream soon.
Oh, I still need to buy the tall geese one.
I need to just. I got the Gunpla. I just gotta like figure out camera angles. And lastly, we have in his Twitch debut, Aiden York. Aiden, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Aiden York. I am a mercenary, but also a member of Zan's crew. And yes, this is my first time being here, so I hope I've made a good first impression.
We got 2 sci-fi characters and a fantasy character. Nothing can go wrong.
Exactly.
When worlds collide.
I wouldn't mind making like a sci-fi version of Amorous using Zan's Dracul race.
That would be cool
That
to
would be
see.
You totally should.
Yeah. I was like, all right, Daru, I know my next commission.
So do I.
See, that was one thing I did with my fantasy settings. I've got a fantasy setting called Azamora, and the players didn't have a clue, but I did, and essentially, Azamora is a fantasy world in my sci-fi setting.
Ah.
Because I thought that would be cool, because I can add sci-fi elements into the fantasy parts of it when and if I need to. With an excuse to bring in other characters, races, items, equipment, things falling from the sky.
Okay. So
Yes, Rupa.
I have to admit, I was in a campaign for a while. Y'all remember me talking about the campaign that, or like the group that I ended on bad terms with because they tried to make my character pregnant?
Yep.
Yeah. So that group that DM tried to do something similar to what you just mentioned, Zan, but I honestly didn't like it because it had actually no bearing on the story. But it's like we just finished like a major plot point, and we're like heading back to go get our reward and like bring this nobleman his kidnapped son back, and then something fell from the sky and caused a huge amount of radiation, and it was near us, so we decided to go check it out, and it was a spaceship. And so we went on this entire adventure of like the spaceship was carrying a bunch of space convicts, but it's like and we had to go and find them because our planet is apparently a testing ground that all these like space races is apparently every race, elves, dwarves, humans, everything are actually super advanced races from the other planets on space that decided to see what would happen if they just reset everything on a single world with all the races put together. And so our world was just an experiment, and that if that experiment was compromised by this spaceship falling to the ground and all these convicts getting out, compromising it, they'd just restart it by destroying the entire world.
That's a bit out there, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but it's like, and so we've chased down these convicts before they could do damage to our world. And while we were doing that, we ended up picking up quite a bit of alien technology, and we're like, oh, this is so cool. And then when we were done, we caught all the convicts or killed them and brought them back to the space police. And we were given our case to be like, nobody knows but us, and we can just be silent about it for the rest of our lives. Don't worry. But then and they're like, okay, give back all the technology that you've taken, or and if we find that you still have any technology, we will destroy the entire planet. And so basically everything that we've gotten, all the loot and whatnot, all the cool space shit, we had to give back. So literally at the end of it, we got literally nothing, no rewards whatsoever. It's like no new weapons, no gold, because they weren't from our planet. It's like literally just our reward was that we saved the planet.
That's kind of a sour note if you get to play with all the toys and then are told to give them back.
Yeah, the reward was they gave you credit.
No, it's like they couldn't even give us credit. Like we saved the entire world, but couldn't tell anyone we saved the world.
I know.
They
I'm
weren't
being a
gonna.
smart ass.
They couldn't tell anyone in space about what happened, because if they tell anyone in space, then they're like, then the governments from the space are gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, it's like, it's compromised. Nuke the world. We're gonna restart. So literally, there was nothing by the end of it. It's just like, and that group just ended up devolving into just arguing, and we got nothing done. It's like,
Yikes.
And my character was not a leader character, but I was one of the older guys as a party, because we had a lot of teenagers. And the GM, who was the oldest of us, he was an adult, the dad of one of the teenagers. Came to me, and the other adult of the party was like, I need you guys to lead the party, and like, yeah, because it's like, it's just, and to end conflicts. And I'm just like, okay, I'll do what I can. And then that other guy started sexually harassing my character because he was a cleric, and every time he cast guidance, he was just he explained how he slapped my character on the ass or something like that to cast guidance. Yeah, and every time he did in character, my character beat the shit out of him. But you keep doing it, and then I missed one session after we took a break. I missed the first session back, and they said, "Oh yeah, your character's pregnant now." It's like, because we went to go see our benefactor, and since my character wasn't there, he asked where I was, and this other guy who's been sexually harassing my character was like, "Oh, she's pregnant with my child."
What?
That's a red
That it
flag.
was all a joke. I told the GM I'm not happy with that, and especially since my character has a fear of children due to previous events of the game where we had a horror section. And it's like, and so I was like, no, she would not have kids. And one, she wouldn't fuck that guy with a 10-foot pole. It's like, she wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. She'd never fuck him. And two, she'd never have kids. And so I was like, this is not cool. And before the next session, like, they kept on with the joke. So I was just like, I'm not going back to the game. Bye. And the game, as far as I'm aware, the game fizzled out shortly after. They weren't. It's like the sessions I was gone, they were in our Discord. And it's like saying, it was like, okay guys, we got. It's like literally one of the kids was like, hey guys, we got to figure this out because we got literally nothing done. We tried to set a plan in motion and no one followed it. And I was like, I'm so glad I did not rejoin.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible group in the end. It's like, if stuff like that's allowed to happen and it's not stopped right there and then, which it happening in the first place is bad, but if it's not nipped in the bud straight away, no, you walk away from that.
I put my foot down immediately. The moment they said it, I was just like, no, absolutely not cool, not funny. And when it continued, I left.
Yeah, that's that. There's a dick move, and then there's that.
Oh yeah, it's like, that's just, the dude had. I'm concerned. I was like, we were a sausage festival party. We were all guys, and I was. There were two of us that were playing female characters, but the other female character was a kid, a teenager. I want to say it was like 15, 16 years old. So he went for my character, as I was the other adult, as far as I could tell. Being the, it's like, I've shown you that character. That character was Lavenna. I will say I have taken that character, and she has a new life in a different party that is a series of one-shots as my other group.
Oh, that's great. As long as the character had a happy ending, as it were.
It's basically, I've erased that party, and but I've taken the aspects that I liked from that campaign. One, she was knighted in that campaign. So it's like, I've taken that. She is still a knight. It's part of her backstory, and it's like that knight group is part of her backstory, but those characters are no longer there.
Okay.
So
see, I want to know you first.
So I just given I like that's one of the things I've enjoyed about just giving all my old characters that didn't really get their chance in the groups I didn't like, and I've given them a new life in a much better group that honestly is so much more fun. Like, I went I went from that group to Sylveon with you guys. You have no idea how happy I am with Sylveon.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Oh yeah,
my words.
It's like, when I played Sylveon with you guys, I was like, oh my god, online D&D can actually be fun. Because before that, it was like, every experience I had with online D&D was that group, and just arguing nonstop. Sorry, Aiden, I keep interrupting you. What are you saying?
No, well, I'm just happy that didn't ruin your interest in online D&D.
No, Sylveon saved it.
I'm happy to hear that.
That's
but
good.
Yeah, it's
but
like
yeah,
yeah.
I just want to know, what was the guy who decided to make your character have his kid? How do you think that was going to end up?
I don't know. I don't know what his plan was because he kept saying it was a joke, but kept joking about it. It's like it was never gonna end up anywhere. But I didn't like it, so I left.
Yeah, just nope on that.
That's a big old nope.
Yeah, I just said nope, and I'm like, nope, I'm not okay with this. I don't like the joke, and yeah. Oh yeah, so super cringe. The fact that it's like, yeah, he's like, I cast guidance by slapping her on the ass, and it's like every time he did it, I would punch him in the face, and I dealt damage. Like it's not just I punch him in the face like roleplay. No, I rolled for damage every time. We were in the middle of a dungeon, getting ready to kill Santa Claus, and I had to sneak.
What?
No, sorry. We're getting ready to kill Krampus for Santa Claus because he stole.
Okay.
Because he stole the sleigh with all the gifts. And it's like, we needed. I was playing a thief rogue, arcane archer fighter. This is also when I learned I hated arcane archer so much. Oh my god.
It sounds so fun as a concept, but when it comes down to it, just a normal fighter that specializes in ranged is a lot better than Arcane Archer, sadly.
Yeah, it's like the abilities are too few, do not regenerate, and you don't learn new ones for it to really feel magical. Yeah, it sounds better as a prestige class in 3.5 than it does as a subclass of 5e. Rune Knight takes the idea of Arcane Archer so much better, as it's like, and I've seen some revised Arcane Archer homebrews that do it similar to Rune Knight, where you get a bunch of, you get different sorts of arrows, like you get like you get runes, and when you have those arrows, you get a passive effect and then an effect that you can use once per short rest, which works way better. And honestly, when I remade the character for the new one shot, I used the homebrew versions of Arcane Archer, and it was so much better. But anyways, so I was a stealthy character, and I was the only stealthy character in the group, so I had to go and take a key off of one of Krampus's guards, and he gave me guidance, and he slapped my ass, and I just straight up turned around and decked him and dealt a ton of damage.
As you should.
Yes, and it's like apparently that wasn't a good enough no for him. Especially considering how my character was a lesbian and was very open about that.
Some people just don't get the message.
Nope. But yeah, I left that party. And it's like, honestly, playing with you guys and Sylveon, it's like playing with you guys and Sylveon and my other group in Buronitis. Honestly, saved D&D for me. It's like y'all were my first group after that. And it's like I was like, holy shit, this can actually be fun, because I had a ton of fun playing D&D IRL, but never had never had a long campaign. That's not my only horror story too. It's like from people, and not with that same group, but with from that comic book store. I'll tell you all about my my barbarian king of frogs after this.
Barbarian King of Frogs.
Yeah, it's a story. It's like I love the character so much, and he died in the stupidest fucking way. It's like, where was I on the? It's like, so with Lavinia and that group, I left that group. I didn't look back.
Smart.
And then it was another group earlier than that. It was my first barbarian I've ever played. Probably the only barbarian I've ever played. I really want to play again. It was a human barbarian named Lucius Silverborn. I had a whole backstory. It was my first time where I made a character that I had a role-playable backstory, where I actually started to enjoy roleplay. And it's like, I ended up switching him, and because I originally started playing a Beastmaster Ranger, which I didn't like, and the GM let me let that character leave, or he died, and switch him out with the barbarian. And I ended up getting this badass axe. So it was basically like Stormbreaker from Marvel, but this was before that even came out. This was a lightning axe. But it's like I call him the King of Frogs, because there was one time we were on an island and everybody was getting lost, and the party kept splitting up, and I was so tired of it. But as barbarian, I had Speak with Animals, so I decided to use Speak with Animals to ask for direction from the animals, and I ended up talking with the frogs, and I had to roll charisma. It's like I had to roll charisma, but the thing is, I made this barbarian a gladiator. So he had very high charisma. I had 18 strength and 18 charisma. It's like,
That's impressive, actually.
yeah,
As a barbarian.
I rolled
As a barbarian, yeah.
I rolled really well for my stats, and I wanted him to be a charismatic fighter. Like he's like the gladiator background was just a variant of the entertainer background. So he's someone who knows how to please people, just through fighting.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly, it's that. It's like. So it's like he's a very charismatic barbarian, and my GM every time like I did something charismatic, he's just like, "What the hell is with your character?" And I was like, "I love it. It was so much fun." And it's like I rolled really well for the frogs, and they helped us. And like as they were helping us, it's like I was just swarmed by a massive amount of frog. Every frog in the fucking jungle. It's like, hey, and it's like I was like, since then I called him the King of Frogs. But my horror story with that campaign is how he died.
How did he die?
It was an instant death trap after a boss fight.
Oh no.
I hate that crap.
It was fucking dumb. I'm sure I've talked about this on other D&D chattings. It's like, but it's like I'm still pissed about it because I honestly loved the character and I was getting really into roleplay and he was strong. So it's like I was good in combat, good in roleplay, and having fun. Hit all the marks. Which is a really good
What
character.
was the trap?
So basically, we had fought a boss that was like this like death knight in a village that was like guarding some sort of wizard's house, and we ended up beating it. And the GM remarked about how he was like, "I'm surprised that I didn't down any of you in that fight because we set a plan into motion." Executed the plan and rolled really well, and the DM rolled the boss rolled really bad. So we end up beating the shit out of this boss, and we were all very happy. And so we were looting this wizard's home, and we come across this safe, and the rogues or the dexterity people weren't able to really unlock it. So I decided to use my 18 strength and just rip it open, and I rolled a nat 20 on it. Or not nat 20, but I rolled really well to just rip it open. And the GM was like, "Okay, make a dexterity saving throw." I rolled a natural 20 on my dex save, so I took half damage. I still took over 40 points of damage.
What?
And it was, and he was like, "Okay," and this is, and keep in mind, and that put me down to 0. And it was it was force damage. So he's like, "Okay, since this is force damage and it puts you down to 0, you're turned to dust." I'm like, "No death saves? Not even, I don't even get like anything with my natural 20." He's like, "Nope, you're dead." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That is bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that is how it works. I didn't know that at the time. I was still this was still when I was pretty new to D&D. Like only a few months playing.
If it was like a disintegrate trap, which would have been pretty bad to begin with, but if that's the only way I could have seen that happening.
Disintegrate trap, we were all level 5.
Because isn't force damage just not just like, non-physical impacting damage?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
force damage is just, it's force.
Yeah. And the thing is, I had like 40 HP left and it dealt like 42 damage, so it just barely killed me. It's like literally, if I hadn't taken damage in the boss fight prior, I would have been perfectly fine. It's literally just the fact that it got me down to 0, just turned me to dust, no save or anything like that. It's like I just took half damage, but it's still enough to hit me to 0. But what was really dumb was after that, inside that box was a bag, clearly a bag of holding. Another player came and opened the bag, and the exact same thing happened to them. They had to make a dex save. They got a nat 20, and they took force damage enough to get them down to 0, and they also turned to dust.
What the fuck?
And the GM's just like, "Why aren't y'all checking for traps?"
Well, for starters, I can't imagine you trapping a bag of holding.
It's like it's like either trap the box or trap the bag. You don't trap both. Like that's just an extra level of paranoia. You don't give an instant death trap to a group of level 5 new players. And it's especially after a major boss fight that we were all like riding a high with.
This guy sounded a bit like a gatekeeper.
It's like he definitely had like his own thing going on, and we're just there for the ride from the feel of it. I was only there for like half of the games because I had work a lot, so I missed a lot in the beginning. So he might just have not really cared too much about me as a player.
Oof.
Asshole.
Yeah,
That's bad feels.
Yeah, that was the only 2 deaths in the entire campaign too. Yeah, we turned to deaths on Nat 20. It's like we've got Nat 20 on the deck saves to avoid the damage, and still dealt enough damage to drop to 0. And he said that since it hit us at 0, we just turned to dust. And this is literally right after Thanos snapped. This was around when Thanos snapped in the Marvel universe when that movie came out. So literally, like we were like, we just got Thanos snapped. We literally turned to dust.
Yeah. No thanks.
That sounds like an awful GM.
Yeah, no, it's like it's like, and he became like the official he was the official GM of the store too. So it's like most games went through him at that point in time. And then he said, then he left for vacation. I was like, okay, I'll be back in like 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, see ya. And he never came back. No word or anything, even to the store.
Wow.
And luckily after that, well, it's like less people were coming to the store because it just moved locations. So it's like there's only like 2 or 3 groups running at a time, and so it was a lot quieter. Where it used to be like super packed all the time and loud, like you had to shout to like, get anything.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. A dice roll should always permit a chance. Like literally,
Yes.
it's like if I rolled and I saved, and on a save it still dealt enough damage to kill me, the barbarian of the party with the most health, who didn't take that much damage during the boss fight. Excuse me.
Yeah, if you let players roll to save themselves, you should not insta kill them.
I also believe if there's an instant death trap, then you need to. It's like you need to talk with your party about instant deaths first. Like if I want to run Tomb of Horrors at some point in time, but before that I was actually going to run it for a while, and I told my party, hey, it's like in this campaign there's a lot of just stuff that will just straight up kill you instantly, no saves or anything, and you're dead, and this is a permadeath campaign. So are you okay with that? So what?
Yeah, I've been told about Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of want to adapt Tomb of Horrors for Sylveon, because I feel like it could totally be done with some of the gods, the fallen gods.
I mean, talk to me or Kekia about it, and I'm sure we can figure something out.
Yeah, and if anything, I do like the idea of Cholts, because Tomb of Horrors deals with a land where there are dinosaurs. So if anything, it would take place on an island in Sylveon, but that can't really happen right now.
I mean, it could. There's airships.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
And were you about to sing the Jurassic Park theme song, Zan?
Oh, I was.
Holy crap, it is a fucking dinosaur.
So like the whole thing with Cholt is that it's part of Faerun, but it's the land of one of the primordial giants that actually like betray. So Faerun's lore, like origin war, the Dawn War, was the gods versus the primordials. And there was one primordial that betrayed it. Its kind to fight with the gods and turn the tide. In exchange, it was given domain over the land of Cholt. And so the land of Cholt has a whole different like ecosystem and evolutionary path than the rest of the world, because the gods had no control over it, which is why it still has dinosaurs. It has a pterodactyl race that is not playable for some damn reason. I would love to play as a pterodactyl.
If they're only local to that location, it makes a little bit of sense.
Well, it's the entire campaign takes place in that location, though. It's also where like tabaxi are native to that land and things like that. And then it's like there's literal dinosaur races in the city streets.
Just walking around and chatting.
Yeah. No, like literally, like, no, the dinosaurs aren't chatting, but they have dinosaur races like people have drag races.
Wow.
Like, oh my god, let me grab a picture.
That's fantastic. That reminds me of Dinotopia.
Yeah, exactly. I love Dynatopia.
That was a good series.
The happy egg.
Still enjoy Pathfinder First Edition and the ability to have dinosaurs and megafauna as animal companions. Ooh. Monster Hunter campaign. I think there is a Monster Hunter themed 5th edition book.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them, or 5 of them even. Or no, there's like...
And I was just telling you about one.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see, the ones I got is Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting, a 5e supplement. I got Tomb of Annihilation, which is like a sequel to Tomb of Horrors. It's very much the same, but it's later on in the timeline, but still kind of the same dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh, if we do this podcast like regularly, we should get like a backdrop for it.
Oh yeah, totally get an overlay for it.
Absolutely. Speaking
Welcome
of which,
back,
welcome back,
Sar.
Sar.
Welcome back, sir. Here, let me show you this picture from Chapter 1 of Tomb of Annihilation. Maybe after Avernus, I will run Annihilation and the Sylveon group.
I'd be fine with that.
Unless we can
Does
find
anyone want a kitten? I'd like a kitten.
I want a kitten.
I'd also say hi to a kitten. Also, hello, welcome back, Kekia.
Welcome back, welcome back. This is a real pain in the arse. Is it a pain in the arse or a pain in the nards?
I think your kitten would get along well with other things. I don't know where I was going with that.
Check podcast chat. I just sent a picture.
Podcast chat.
That's fantastic.
I love that. This is why I was asking if there were dinosaurs in Sylvia.
I can once again I
this
can
is
either
pod
confirm or
racing.
deny that this is pod racing.
It's dinosaurs.
We gotta follow the Leopleurodon, Charlie.
Leopleurodons were creepy but cool.
It's a magical Leopleurodon. It knows the way.
What's a Leopleurodon?
It's a dinosaur. It's an underwater dinosaur. It was a predatory one.
Okay.
Do y'all remember, what was it? Not llamas with hats. Charlie the Unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie the horse. It's... Yeah. A thing. Cat's running away from home.
Oh, jeez. Are you okay, man?
Think about other D&D books.
From the house. This is why I don't like to let my cats out of the house. And there are too many things I can just. I have a lot too many predatory birds of prey, where I live that can just like swoop down and pick up a cat in like half a second.
Do they really go for cats there?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
if they're small enough.
Cats and smaller dogs.
When I adopted my cat in California, it's like literally part of the adoption. It's like. Contract was not to let it outside because like falcons and eagles and whatnot, even owls at night will just swoop down and just pick them up, and once they do that, they're gone.
That is kind of crazy. I did not expect that. We have owls here, but I've never heard of owls attacking cats.
Well, do you have great horned owls over there?
Pass.
I mean, that's typically at night, so you're less likely to see it. But like literally in the middle of the day, you'll get like a falcon or some bird of prey just swoop down. Whoop, bye. That's all I see.
Are you sure
Wow.
falcons and not hawks? Because falcons are tiny.
Or hawks, yeah, I mean hawks. Falcons will eat damn near anything. Yeah, it's like a bird of prey sees something small enough that they can fit between their talons, and they're just gonna pick it up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
this-
problem. You first.
There's a gif of a pelican trying to eat a capybara, and it obviously can't because it's a massive thing,
It's
but
just,
it's
like,
just
stuck.
stood there like, eh.
This is my
It's not
day
even
job.
bothered.
It's like I saw like this one where it was like a seagull trying to eat something. It's just like couldn't. Like it's just like it was just doing like the that motion of trying to get it down its gullet, but the thing's ass was too big to fit into its beak, so it was just staying there. So it was just like
So it's like Ganyu from Genshin Impact.
yes, literally was just stuck there. It just like kept like stopping, looking around with this thing just hanging out of his mouth, and the guy videotaping it was just like, "Come on, man! It's like it's not gonna go in. Just spit it out." And it just kept trying.
But speaking of goals, by the way, goals are evil.
Oh yeah.
When Keiki and I visited the UK, she had a hot dog and a gull swooped by and stole half of it.
Oh yeah, they're really good at doing that in the UK. If you ever go anywhere that have seagulls, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought pigeons were bad, but I guess gulls are worse.
Gulls are the thieves of birds in the UK. It's like whenever you see a video of a seagull running into a shop and running out of a packet of crisps, that's in the UK.
Does that actually happen?
Yes, there's actually quite a few videos online of that happening.
Good lord.
Because they know that's what food is in, so they literally walk in, grab it, and run out of the shop.
I guess they're smarter than we give them credit for.
Yeah, birds get really smart. Like it's like you can train crows to steal for you.
You can.
Yeah, it's like
They're just smart in general. I just watched a video about crows yesterday, and there's a bottle of water, and the crow knows if it puts stones in it, the water will rise so it can get a drink.
It's like crows have also been seen using like stones to break open nuts and things so that they can get to the nut inside.
Yeah.
It's like crows are in the Stone Age. I think there are some monkeys that have been seen that actually like strap stones to sticks for better use for whacking. So monkeys are in the Stone Age too.
There was a guy, he trained Australian magpies to collect bottle caps and put them in this machine in his garden, and then the machine would dispense seeds for the magpies. So they cleaned up, as it were, by feeding bottle caps to this machine with a food reward at the end.
Yeah, so I've heard of people,
which is pretty cool.
Where it's like you can train crows and whatnot, like in these smarter ones like magpies, to start bringing you money. Where it's just like if you start just feeding them, and they'll start bringing you stuff because they always see it as like a transaction. Where it's like so they'll start bringing you things like shiny things like bottle caps, rocks, and things. But every now and then they'll bring you like quarters or coins or dollars. And when if they do, then give them better treats or better food. And then they'll equate, okay, if I bring this specific thing, then I get the good stuff. So they'll start bringing the money to you. But then they won't just look for it on the ground. They'll start taking it out of people's hands. So they will literally steal money for you.
Crows are scary.
They are. If Crow was in chat.
I mean, something tells me she would agree.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Keiki has a D&D question.
Hi, Keiki. What is your D&D question? We're a D&D podcast, not a Crow podcast. What was the funniest instance you ran into either as a GM or a player?
I know what it is as a GM, actually.
There's a few funny ones as a player, but you go on.
It was when I was running my first campaign, my first fantasy campaign for D&D, and I put a quest. I had a quest board. I had a quest. An old man needed help rounding up his chickens. So the party goes, and the party's monk, who was a shard mind, so he was a rock man, was like, leave it with me, and he basically ran around I'm pretty sure the player described it as how he ran round grabbing all of these chickens and one by one putting them back in the pen. Yeah, Saru drew a picture of it. It was just one of those funny things for me, and it was very memorable. It's like out of that campaign, I'll always remember that little side quest of just this monk running around grabbing chickens and putting them into this pen.
That's fantastic.
So that's one of my funniest instances, or memorable instances as a GM.
Emrys, what about you?
So I have a few, like one of them just straight up being the wild magic bullets, with the Praeton turning it into a Dragonborn.
Oh, how we got scorned.
Yeah, how we got scorned. So for those who don't know, so in the campaign that we had played, that we finished, where Aiden here was a DM, me and Zan were players. Zan's character like had a bunch of wild magic bullets, and it's like applied wild magic to the whatever it shot a Praeton, which is this giant carnivorous deer thing. And it rolled the number that if it died within a minute, then it would reincarnate. And we killed it pretty fast after that. So it reincarnated into a dragonborn. So all of a sudden this monster now has sentience, and it's just like, I want to kill you, but you killed me. So I will follow you until I get strong enough to murder you all.
Yeah, she became obsessed with Zan's character and followed her like a servant,
like a murderous puppy.
Yeah, a murderous puppy. That's the best way to put it.
That would eat you if you aren't looking at it.
So that was one of the weirdest. Yeah, I guess that's one of the weirdest things I've done as a character is turn a monster into another monster that then wants to be my friend to kill me.
Another of the funniest parts of D&D is where in my other group we paid a wizard to give our cleric a dick.
What?
In my other group, one of the characters is trans female to male, but so we found a wizard that could cast true polymorph, so we paid him to just cast true polymorph on our friend. Nothing changed except just giving them a dick. And then remember how we had the rolls to determine size as a joke in the beginning of Grimswing?
Oh no.
Yeah. They rolled 100.
Oh, good lord.
So they got a Yuki-sized one. So it's like they had very tight pants, and it's just that. And then the same character later on in the campaign, when trying to distract a bunch of undead mannequin zombies, because we were fighting a very weird necromancer, it's like started dancing to try and they described it as Shakiring their way in the middle of all of them because they were going to do a big AoE thing. And it was just like, we all just died laughing. I'm just like, why? It's like, they're just, we know they're there. Why are you just dancing? That is just like my other group, we have a wild magic sorcerer who just, wild magic fucks him every single time. But sometimes it does good. Like he's managed to get wished from wild magic a couple of times. But it's like there's like he currently has like 31 sticks of dynamite on him, and he uses them. He had more.
Good lord.
Yeah. I gotta pee again. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll save my story for when you get back.
Okay.
What a way to handle that, I guess.
Yeah, at least it was handled in a way where everyone was happy, and that's the main thing at the end of the day.
Well, of course, you want to have fun with that if you're going to be stuck with something like that happening.
Yeah.
And yes, according to Emrys, it did.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So
welcome back, Tess.
Yeah, welcome back, by the way, Tess. Everyone's gonna be familiar with my story.
Probably, but that doesn't mean we don't want to hear it.
Well, of course, I'm still gonna tell it. I'm just saying.
So there's going to be people here that have never heard this story before.
Very true. And you're welcome to chime in if I think I got something wrong.
No.
How dare you? Well, no, you gotta watch what I say. You're my boss.
No, you're fine. What's the worst that can happen?
I can think of a few things. I'm just kidding. What was I Diaru says I still have my one-eyed monk story leaping out of the mage tower while high on painkillers.
I'm back, and I hear you talk about one-eyed monk. That is a weird. That's a weird nickname for you, Dick.
Well,
Have you
then.
been drinking?
No, no. I might be a little on a bit of a sugar high, but I'm just. This is me in a good mood.
Yeah, I was there for that one, Diaru.
That's the second one-eyed monster joke I've made in 24 hours.
Anyway, my funniest story is one that we're all quite familiar with. By we all, I mean the three of us and a few people in the chat. It was the dragon slaying stick.
Oh, yes. That stick is a legendary item. You cannot tell me any different.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this was the final session of this campaign. It was Sylveon again with Yuki, Cass, and Lena Lee, and what have you. And it was the final boss fight. They were fighting against a legendary assassin who'd been stalking them the whole campaign, and a young black dragon that they encountered before, who escaped. The black dragon had failed to cast mind control on Emerus's character, and was attempting to fly away after casting invisibility on itself to try to do some more shenanigans with its magic.
I missed
three
that
people. No, you didn't. You were here for that.
No, I missed the black dragon.
No, you didn't. You were here when this happened.
Okay. Oh, right. No, right. Second fight with the black dragon. Okay. Continue.
And what happened was three people, one of which was Saru's character, who was a master of melee combat, got to try to attack of opportunity it. Both hit. All three of them hit, and one of them was Tass's character, who was Lena Lee, who was a sorcerer with no melee capabilities except for a stick that she had. And what happened was he saved all of his DCs except for when the stick hit him.
It's good.
Yeah, everyone started cracking up royal. That was probably the loudest I've ever heard Saru laugh. And I thought it was hilarious even at the time, don't get me wrong, but I walked away from my computer, went into the other room, and yelled, "Why?"
The power of the stick.
It was great because didn't we use the stick on the green dragon before it?
No, that was the first time the stick had been used in almost a year.
But oh my god, yeah, I remember. So like, I was so happy when I did get mind controlled again.
Yeah, you mind controlling the party. Well, you might be mind controlled your character, and then almost TPKing the party was an experience.
But I gotta,
Yes,
I have to admit, knowing that my character had the potential to TPK the party was definitely an ego boost.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can also imagine. Excuse me a second. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
Yuki was
Okay.
it's like we're drinking a lot of water right now. Yuki was the real boss fight. Yuki took over as boss with the green dragon.
Pretty much.
It's like that was actually really fun. I was really worried, but at the same time, I was just like, I kept hitting our NPC barbarian and knocking her down. She kept getting brought back up. I'm just like, let her stay down for long enough for me to move on to the next guy, please.
Yeah, Cass was far enough away for a lot of it.
Yeah, it's like luckily Galena was the furthest away, so I got the bone before I killed everyone. It's literally Bone,
Which is the best character you could have attacked.
yeah, it's like Bone was really the only one that could take down Yuki at that point. It's like, yeah, no, Galena was like right after Bone. And Vaughn barely managed to bring him down. It's like, yeah, did the giant killer axe deal more damage to me because I was giant at the time? Yes, that was awesome. I fucking love that. It's like, it helped so much when you had that giant killer axe.
I'm hoping we get some more crazy moments in the current campaign like that.
I feel like we will. I feel like it's like our new campaign is a little more like grounded together than last time.
Yes.
It's like we feel more like a party, where last time we felt like we were a bunch of coworkers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At least that's how it felt to me.
And I think we all know each other better as well over the year.
Yeah, we were able to plan our characters a little bit better. Ended up with two fighters that were Goliath-sized heavy tanks, strength-based, and then 2 artificers. Was a little weird. I loved every single.
But it worked.
It worked, surprisingly enough. It's like, on paper, that party comp was a mess, but it worked. And I loved every single character.
Yeah, all the characters were great.
Yeah. It's like, I remember, like, I think I mentioned this on the last, when we were drunk. But it's like, I definitely saw Vaughn as a, like, almost like trying to replace Yuki in the beginning, which is why I had Yuki be such a rivalry to it. And then Vaughn was just like, I don't give a shit.
I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back.
Yeah, Vaughn was too busy thinking about other things to care about rivalry.
Vaughn's just like, I've been through my entire like ordeal, and Vaughn felt like a character who was past his story. Like, it's like he just ended up in a weird epilogue. Tell me I'm wrong. So it's like, tell me I'm wrong. Sorry, are you there? Tell me I'm wrong, because like Vaughn had a whole, like, it was like post-war. He had traumatic backstory galore. It's like, and he was like done with fighting, and then he gets sent to our world, and just like, fuck, here we go again. Yeah, he felt like Kratos in God of War 4. His story is behind us. He's just here for the ride. It's like Yuki definitely felt like a young Vaughn before he was Vaughn before the war, before his war. So it's like, I feel like it's like they were so similar, but that like just different in experience and maturity, and that's where they would butt heads a lot.
Both were badass and fun, though.
They were so much fun to play. I really, like, I gotta say, one of my favorite role-playing moments was between possessed Yuki and Vaughn, when he was trying very hard not to murder him. I'm pretty sure I was just one failed save away from attacking, and I was sleeping in full plate armor and had all my weapons with me at any given time at that point.
Which is terrifying in and of itself.
Yep. You were taking none of it.
Like, I was just like, I don't want to attack Vaughn, but my dice are telling me yes. My body is telling me no, but my dice, they want to fucking murder you.
Good times.
Yeah, that was a lot of
And
fun.
plenty more to come.
It's like,
Exactly.
man, I really wanted to pick up that trident. I'm so sad that trident got destroyed.
Wait, in this game or the last game?
In this game,
Well, don't you have the pieces?
I had the pieces, yeah, but I mean, the curse is gone.
Well, you didn't know it was cursed.
Well, it's gone now. I can mention it, right?
I mean, no.
No,
Cause...
we didn't know it was cursed in game. Yeah, but I really like cursed items, and I never really get to be cursed. Like, Zan got cursed.
You're like Frost.
Yeah, and it's like that was like a cast got cursed for like a whole campaign. I was like, can I mention what you said that trident was, or do you want to keep that?
We got to keep that a secret for time being.
Okay. I do. Shader wants to get the trident remade, minus the curse. if because it had the ability to like, control elementals and whatnot, so it's like it's got power to it, and she wants to try and remake it in a way that we can use that power for good.
What are you laughing at, Zan?
Because you literally just told him not to tell us about the trident.
Yeah.
And then you said that you just talked.
No, so that isn't what Aiden told me.
Oh, okay.
That's just
Yeah,
what I guessed from what we saw, because in the thing, because it literally had elementals fighting us under its command.
Fair. That is actually fair.
That is not what Aiden told me it actually was. That is something that I figured out from, or I guess I think I'm actually wrong from what Aiden told me. That's not actually what it does.
Welcome back again, sir.
And that's not actually what it does. That's just what I thought it did, because I thought it was like a trident of elemental command when we first saw it. I was like, ooh, I want
if
that.
it was.
That would have been awesome, but it's not what it was. That's what Shayra is assuming it is. So that's why Shayra is wanting to get it remade.
It's the non-fungible trident.
Non-fungible trident. Oh my god.
No.
You've heard about that, I assume.
We're not doing NFTs.
You're damn right we're not. That's why that was a joke.
Oh. Non-fungible trident.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Hear me out. Boar's Druid, just whenever they hear about anything that's non-fungible, they just throw a bunch of fungus at you.
I do actually want to play a Spore Druid.
Same.
I say go for it.
I need a game to play one in.
I mean, I guess the next campaign, or if we do another one-shot.
Maybe.
And I can
If
always
you're
send
still
you one.
if you're interested in sticking around, of course, for those.
Yeah.
As long as you don't make my characters pregnant without permission.
Well, never.
I don't do weird things like that in games, period.
Same, I try not to.
Yeah, the only time I ever got a character pregnant, quote unquote, was when they wanted it to happen.
Yeah, like if the two players, or the player and the GM, if it's an NPC, talk about it ahead of time, then that's perfectly fine. But another player deciding it when you're not there is a no-no.
And the characters, and the person whose character I got pregnant was Keikia's character, so there you go.
Yeah, it makes sense there.
Yeah, as long as it's all discussed, talked about in advance and things, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Imagine that being important. Yeah, ever so slightly.
I mean, yeah, I don't need to imagine it. Something up, Sar?
No, just what we were saying.
Yeah, fair
Oh,
enough.
did Saru miss my story?
I think he did.
Oh, I see. Long story short, old campaign, I walked away because they decided my character was pregnant when I missed a session. After a long campaign of sexual harassment to my female character. Yeah.
Yep, it's the appropriate response.
Yeah.
I put my foot down, immediately said no, and then when they kept making jokes about it, I was like, okay, I'm done, bye. And then left the campaign. No regrets. Not a single letter.
Good man. And Keikia, I'll tell them the Bard story when that comes up, or it was appropriate.
Should I make the stream mature?
Well,
I probably should have.
Rated M for mature.
was it not already to begin with?
It is. I just don't have it labeled that way. I want it. M for mature logo.
Ooh, here's a GM question actually. Do you like using past player characters as NPCs in future campaigns in the same setting where appropriate?
Ah.
There. Now no one can complain.
We're not a video game though.
Yes, we are. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, we are. We're husbando dating sim.
Obviously. Wait, this implies
Fair enough.
This implies a harem ending. No. Run away! Run away! Run away!
Well, D said yes to my question, so that's good.
My answer is also yes, if the players of the characters are okay with it.
Okay.
I think yes, as long as it's like, as long as the players are okay with it, it can be a fun callback, and also as long as they're not too involved in the story, like as long as they don't detract from the achievements and the gameplay of the new party.
Well, of course.
Yeah. I'm the same. It's like they can show up as a background character, but never a foreground character.
Yeah.
Yeah, like never as a companion, but like as a
As an NPC,
Even if it's just a character that you end up doing a quest for as like the new group, that's fine.
but not really
I feel.
someone that comes along with you to the on the adventure.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
And don't kill them off for the drama unless the player character is okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think Critical Role Campaign 3 did a really good job of exactly that. Spoilers for...
I don't mind spoilers for season 3 or campaign 3, so I'm interested in hearing this, but yeah.
Okay,
for that warning for everybody else.
and I'll never watch it, so I'm happy to hear it as
Okay,
well.
so if you are behind on campaign 3, spoilers, I'm technically behind, but this happened, I want to say, around episode... I won't say, I don't remember. But, alright, so spoiler warning. If you don't want to hear mute now, don't walk away. So basically is a couple so one when a lot of the campaign 3 characters are tied in with campaign 1, as in like Orem it works for Keyleth, and then what's her name, the dead girl?
Oh,
Samara.
No, shit. You see characters. My brain is farting right now. Laudna. So Laudna is actually one of the people that were dressed up like Vox Machina and hanged by a tree, and hung from a tree.
I've seen that scene. Yeah.
So if you watch Critical Role's animated series, you saw Laudna hanging from a tree.
Oh wow.
So basically, it's like she was brought back to life with that necromancer woman's magic, and so it's like she is. I believe she's reborn, but she's like an undying warlock sorcerer. And so
Undying warlock sorcerer.
Yeah, and so when she died, they brought her back to Whitestone, which where they met 3 of the characters from Vox Machina: Percy, Vex, Percy, Vexalia, and
Bob.
no, the cleric. Pike.
Yeah.
To bring her back. So it's like so they saw 3 of the campaign 1 characters as now legendary NPCs. That
One of them was on the Tal'Dorei account.
Yeah. Wait, maybe.
Which is a running joke.
Yeah. It's like that's a running joke from campaign 2. That was always hilarious. It's like every time they asked, another one died. But basically. And then, so they got to meet them as well as several other old NPCs. But it's like I feel like that was done really well and handled really well. It's like especially like at one point, like because like they were looking at their old characters, the GM joking was like, "She's not your character anymore, she's mine," as a joke. Because I'm joking, of course, because he didn't do anything that they wouldn't do as a player. And then later on in the campaign, they actually met two characters from campaign 2. Sort of like Laudna's very much like Fiddly. They met two characters from campaign 2 when they were hunting, heading to like a major event and looking for Imogen's mother. They met Caleb and Bo.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, because Caleb and Bo were investigating Trent Ickathon.
I thought they killed him in the end. No.
No, they didn't kill him. I was surprised too, but they never actually went the Trent Ickathon route, and they never went the Empire corruption route, which I really wish they did. But that was definitely like the thing. Apparently, there was like a guest player that they were gonna have on if they went that route, and just like that, it was like he was like super into it. Like they talked about it in an interview where it's just like he was like, oh yeah, so it's like this is my character, this is how he runs everything, here's like characters that would be underneath him, and then it's like Matt had to call him and be like, sorry man, doesn't look like they're going that way.
Oof.
I feel the pain.
Yeah, it's like I remember like Aiden like had an entire city plan for us and Gibraltar that we just skipped. Like it's like there was all those people that we could have saved that we're just like, yeah, no, we're not going into an enemy stronghold.
Yeah, so like that's something that we'll never know.
Oh, and lastly, then Vaxel Dan showed up, and Vaxel Dan is a champion of the Raven Queen, so he's like an undead demigod now.
Ooh,
Which
nice.
that happened at the end of campaign 1. And so it's like at one point Trent Ickathon is trying to kill Keyleth, and when he does, Vaxeldan shows up to stop him, and they put Vaxeldan they trap Vaxeldan into a disc and use him to power their space laser.
Catch you later, Johnny.
Because catch you later, Johnny. Have a great one. I want to say long story short, but it's a long story. Basically, there is like a god eater that is trapped in a cage that is their red moon, Ruidus. And Trent Ickathon and a huge cult are trying to release it so that the god eater kills all the gods and humanity can break free from the destiny that God set from it.
Oh.
So they did this whole elaborate plan and scheme to get Keyleth and her armies to come and fight them so that they could attack Keyleth, and as she's about to die, Vaxeldan shows up so they could trap Vaxeldan, because Vax is a aspect of divinity, and then use that aspect of divinity to attack the cage that's on the moon, because the cage that's on the moon is also a thing that separates the mortal planes from the divine planes, so that keeps the gods and humans separate. So in order to release that monster on the moon.
Why is the moon always where the worst things are in these kinds of settings?
Because if you're going to keep it off, if you're going to if there's something that you want to not destroy the world, it's easiest to take it off of the world, and that's the first thing to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moon's haunted.
Zan and Diero both have it.
Yep. And apparently the moon in Exandria used to be a whole a continent from Exandria that the gods took out and threw it into space.
Where did that moon's haunted come from again?
I have no idea.
It's from Destiny.
It's from Destiny? Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
Sarah says moon's haunted, loads clock. Oh boy, that's great. I love it.
Right. Does anybody else have any other questions for us?
Yeah, I'm happy to hear any questions that you got.
Yep. It doesn't look like there's any more questions.
Yeah.
Well, let's give him a minute just in case, because there's delay and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not from Destiny, but Destiny made it famous. Ah, okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, yeah, Destiny did make it famous because
Destiny.
I mean, Star Wars did that too with Tython. It's like Tython it's like the Jedi, the precursor to the Jedi and the Sith. It's like if practice balance of both light and dark, and if anyone went too far to the light or too far to the dark, they sent them to the moons, because there were two moons, one that was focused on the light side and one that was on the dark side. So they were like, hey, fuck off. Erushi! Hey, Eru! That's Eru Mama. That is my art mama. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Arrow. Okay, well we just got 2 questions, one from King and one from Tass.
All right. Was this Miss Wood? What would you like it published, if anything? For me, like I think I mentioned it earlier, I would like more of Faerun that's not the Swords Coast. Yes, Steve.
Would I like published? Yeah. I don't know. 'Cause I would have said Spelljammer, but they did it.
But they didn't do it good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. What would I like published?
Yeah, I played D&D for a little bit in my other campaign with Eru, but she had to bow out pretty early in the campaign.
Did she make the himbo tiefling?
She did, yes.
I don't play D&D, but I've enjoyed with him. Awesome.
Oh, I went to City of Doors in like my very first one shot when I started playing as my druid. That was hilarious.
From what I understand, Planescape is actually coming. So that is actually something that's getting released.
Okay.
I can't think of anything official. I'd like my own sci-fi, my fantasy setting published. That's something I would like published.
That'd be badass. And we can work on that. Let's get the Kickstarter going.
Hey, I'm happy if you want to all chip in and make it with me. That would be awesome.
I'd be down.
I'd be down for that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
And what did Tess say? What is your favorite encounter or obstacle that isn't a monster that you've encountered or run in a role-playing game?
Well, first, Aiden, did you have anything that you wanted published?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Don't be sorry, it's okay. Well, I definitely love to see Sylveon published one day. But besides that, I'd definitely like to see Zan stuff published, be it both his fantasy or sci-fi, because that's something that I've been a part of and is really cool.
Also, I would like a official D&D sci-fi, like not just Spelljammer, but like actual sci-fi.
Yeah, they did do it, I think, in 3rd edition or 3.5, but it didn't. It got 1 book and that was it, as far as I'm aware.
Well, that sucks.
Because they did like D20 Modern, which was like modern day D&D.
Yeah, they have some of it in like Unearthed Arcana, and like in the Dungeon Master Guide, they touch on some modern day weapons and future weapons.
Yeah.
But basically just say, hey, if you want to do it, here's some basics, and then make the rest yourself.
Okay, and then we had Tass's question.
Yeah. What was that question again?
What is your favorite encounter or obstacle that isn't a monster that you've encountered or run in a role-playing game?
Oh. I'll let you answer first. I gotta think.
Oh. Favorite. I think my favorite one that I ran as an obstacle for the players was I had them come across it was basically like a scene of carnage. It was like a carriage, dead bodies everywhere, and there was a little girl hiding in it, and there was her brother as well, who was in full armor, and the party quickly realized that the brother was actually dead but had come back as a revenant, and they basically helped them partway on their journey to get the little girl to safety and make sure she was safe, and the brother, his duty essentially as the revenant was to get her home, and then his duty was filled so he could pass on to the next life. And I think that's probably my favorite encounter that I've run for my players, and they handled it really well. And it was also like a little bit of world building as well, because the little girl was a special kind of sorcerer or magic user in my setting, where they were born extremely powerful but unstably magic, as it were.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite one that I've done.
Like my favorite was probably it was a one shot I ran. It wasn't something I came up with, but I ran it. It was based off of like an Edgar Allan Poe movie. It's like The Cask of Amontillado, I think. Or not,
Amontillado.
Amontillado, yeah. It's like the one where it's like the guy buried his father in a wall. That's it.
Well, it wasn't his father. It was a rival of it.
Yeah, right. So and this is like in this one shot, it took that and like turned into a disease, where it's just like this disease. If you caught it in the game, you started to hear your own heartbeat in your head, and it just like slowly like just drove you crazy. So it's like different, trying to figure out why the hell am I hearing my own heartbeat just over and over, and what the fuck is going on. Made for an interesting obstacle.
Huh.
Not much of an obstacle, really, because it's like you could still do things while it's happening, but it added an element of mystery and suspense.
I like that.
It's like that
I
was.
like the sound of that too.
I might run that as one shot for Sylveon at some point. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It's a bit of a horror campaign and it's low level, but it is fun to do.
All right. As for me, I'm not really sure. This wasn't really an obstacle per se, but it was. I liked the this led into combat, but I liked when in the Grimsbane campaign when you guys ran into Yuki's brother.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a really nice little arc that we went on for that, I think, overall.
It's like Yuki's brother turned into a traitor, and it's honestly not the brother I expected to be a traitor.
That's why I guess it took you by surprise.
Yeah. Because like in my notes, I labeled him as one of the ones who would be accepting of Yuki and his human bride.
You did, but here's the problem. That was after I had you added that after I had decided to make this.
I put that note when we first went to Osakunji. But he wasn't there when we first went. So.
Yeah, either way, I'm happy that how that turned out.
It was still really good.
What's the heart in a box story, Rupert? You've got me curious.
That's the Telltale Heart.
Oh, okay.
Another Edgar Allan Poe classic. It's one of my personal favorite short stories.
Ah, right, okay.
There was even like a video of it starring Vincent Price that was really scary, but also really well done.
Need to see if I could find my. Pretty sure I have the stuff downloaded to my hard drive for that one shot, because it was like a series of one shots. So I could actually, if we wanted to do that, I could actually run like almost a little mini campaign, or just like whenever we wanted to take a break or give you a break, or just on another day, just run like a one shot with the same characters, the same party.
Possibly.
For that.
It's from the same people that did that made the Demon in the Mirror that I ran. Yeah, the Arcane Library ones, yeah.
That would be terrifying.
A Funga game?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Fear and Hunger,
What's that?
but as an RPG game.
It's a really dark, really gruesome horror JRPG.
Huh. Oh, what is the highest level y'all have ever played at?
I think you first.
No, I'm checking quickly.
I think the highest one that I ever got to was as a player was probably 13.
I think Grimsbane was the highest I ever got to. At 12, I think is what we got to.
Level 16 for me,
Wow.
which
Good
was
Lord.
very fun. And that was with my bard, who at that point had become half celestial, which I thought was awesome.
Turned out really good.
Yeah, it was, here's an orb. You can steal its power if you want. And I'm like, yes. So I stole some of its power and then ended up getting wings on my back. So I had wings at that point and became half celestial.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I loved it.
And Sorrow got to level 23 in 3rd edition.
Damn.
It goes beyond 20 in 3rd edition.
Yeah, they had like rules and whatnot for. I think that was like prestige and whatnot.
Okay.
It's like I think 5th edition was really where they started with the hard cap at 20. It's like, and the Dungeon Master Guide has like some rules on like what experience levels you need for past level 20 for legendary, for what it calls legendary campaigns, but it doesn't give you any like abilities or anything for those.
Third edition had a normal hard cap of 20. Okay.
Normal hard cap, but it did have prestige, which 5e does not.
I need someone to explain to me how Prestige works.
I don't know. I just know it exists.
I'm assuming it's like you pick another class and you go beyond level 20. It's like in Dark Heresy 1st edition, they had a book called Ascension, and it was essentially if you got a character to max level, there was like another set of classes you could then pick to then level up if you met the prerequisites to pick that class.
And in 3rd edition or 3.5, I was led to believe that it was like prestige classes had a requirement of like other classes. Like if you, so it's like you get to a certain point in fighter, then you get a prestige class like Arcane Archer. Yeah, like it has that prestige classes like multi-class if you meet the requirements to start taking levels in that class.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like there's like a bit of requirements, like either like in stats or levels in a class. I think sometimes you have to multi-class a certain amount of levels in order to reach a certain some prestige.
Oh, I feel like Rupert did this in his campaign because he was toying with something where we could gain levels. We didn't know how to gain levels in these classes, but we could start down that path, and we basically had another set of things we could get. I feel like I remember that. Yeah, something like that. It was good. I'm always happy to have characters become more powerful.
So am I. But I mean, the more powerful the character, the more fun you can have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, we've been going for a little over 3 hours now, so I think now's probably a good time to wrap it up. What do you say, you guys?
Yeah, that sounds good.
No, keep going. I'm just kidding. I think this is a good time to stop too.
All right. Well, let me see if any of my friends are online to raid. Ooh, my friend Loki is streaming right now. We can raid him. He's also a
Cool.
D&D inspired streamer. He's a dark elf. So favoring dark elf, not Sylvia dark elf. It's different. So
Is he the one you've had on before for D&D talks?
No, I had Jotun Red Wolf and Made by Moray on for D&D talks. I did my.
Okay.
I played Halo Reach with him on stream a while back.
Yeah, and also last year when your birthday, you, Zan, and Kay played with him on Goose Goose Duck.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I want to play Goose Goose Duck again.
Oh, so much
I would like
fun.
to play that too, because that's
Yeah, we should get like like at some point we can't play the game as a Sylveon game. We should just play Goose Goose Duck.
sounds good to me.
All right, let me raid channel. All right, everybody go say hi to Loki. He's a cool guy. Also a big fan of D&D. Highly recommend him. And he is set to be my VTuber sibling at some point, as he's getting a new live 2D model from my artist.
Fantastic.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah. All right, setting the raid. I hope to see you all there. Hope you all have a great night or a great day, whatever time it is for you. And I'll see you all again soon.
Sounds good to me.
Bye, everybody. Oh no, we've already gone.
Hello.
Yo.
Should I?
Oh, yes, I agree to chat rules.
Yo, 13N! Yo! Thank you so much for the raid of 13, my guy. I'm sorry there was no notifications. My PC done hit the fan.
His PC hit the fan.
Dude,